And we're live.
Mike, your sound good.
I'm not quite sure what's happening.
Dude, we've entered the Matrix.
I think we're in the Twilight Zone.
I'm falling.
Uh-oh. Did Mike just... Wow.
This Mike just...
Welcome to the Mad LiberTEA Party, where we don't know exactly what just happened to Mike.
We were just targeted by the NSA. Oh, Mike, you're still screwed. I think your input's coming from your computer.
Are we going to have a Creep and Mike show here?
No, it's going to be too much. Every time we talk,
I have no idea. We're very professional here.
Yeah, that was my professional. So professional.
Mike, what's up? Uh-oh, we might have to restart the show.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's echoing forever.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Fuck. I don't know why we're having problems. But we are.
Let's go for it.
And I go work.
Yeah, it keeps repeating it.
What in the hell?
Good question.
Something fucked up.
Okay. I3, would you start us on something?
Yes.
And I'll figure it out.
I will start our...
We can't even talk though. It's echoing.
And our first matter was about the right to party and street party busts with SWAT.
Oh,
I am not quite sure exactly what this is, but there's speakeasy busts in Queens.
I've heard about this. There's one like San Francisco where like these house moms were running essentially like an old school fucking 30 speakeasy out of their basement in New York.
Yeah,
they had like 100 people like partying. These were just like house moms.
No, there was another party. I don't know. I think out on the West Coast. Creep, you might want to verify. Is it what there was some type of house party where in LA County, these people got arrested.
I haven't heard about it personally, but I'm not from the LA area. I'm from San Diego. I mean, it's not far for me, but like if I was to drive there, it'd be like
3 hours or something.
I mean, I'm sure it's happening. I'm sure it's
3
happening everywhere. It's just they're not really like reporting on it too heavily. But I'm sure there's tons of. I know in Detroit there was a big shit show because people were having fucking house parties and shit in their backyard.
Am I coming through twice now?
No,
you're good now.
Okay.
You're good now.
So the original thing is there is actually a fucking real speakeasy place in New York City. and they busted it with SWAT and stuff, and they had over 100 people inside of it, and like a real speakeasy, like back in the day. We
Was
have
it
gone back
dancers
to
with
the
feathers
20s.
and peacocks and shit?
Well, okay, no, maybe not that. There were a bunch of people dancing, and no one was wearing masks, and everyone was having fun. And the police came in, and they shut the whole thing down. And of course, I saw it on the news, and they were talking about like it was a good thing. But the only part that I thought was really good about it was the fact that, like, I was like, well, there's the market providing with our speakeasies, and everybody said we were going back to the 20s, so here we are.
I'm surprised it took this long. I mean, obviously there was probably tons of people that were doing this shit. Like I said, like I was hearing stories months ago of people throwing on like secret parties and secret house shows, particularly DJs.
During the
How is it?
Mayor Garcetti, I think that's the mayor of LA. He was trying to arrest people from doing semi-speakeasies where he would cut off the running water or the electricity.
Yeah, I remember that there was a big old like human rights shit show because they were literally threatening to shut off people's like power and water and shit if they broke COVID rules. And it was like, not fascist at all. Not fascist at all, We'll just shut your fucking utilities off if you don't follow the law.
Oh, and here's the thing is that this is not just domestic. This is worldwide.
You guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah. There's Belgium, Dutch, Danish, German. The British are really clamping down on not speakeasies, but individual house parties where people are inviting people over.
They're cracking down on people going for walks in the fucking park, bro.
Dude, there was like a bunch of people at a huge party near the University of Boulder.
Yeah,
University of Colorado in Boulder.
University of Colorado at Boulder, and that's
like they had to call in the SWAT to break this up because there was about 800 people there, all around college age, partying, and it was sticking it to the man.
When you lock down,
did they have to call the SWAT though? Did they have to?
God forbid more than 20 youth.
I don't agree with it, but when the police got there, the people's response to the police was to throw bricks and flip over cars and shit.
That's some Stonewall shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's some straight up
The only thing
shit.
I don't approve of is that they flipped over a private car, and that bothered me.
There was some woman that
the rest
recorded,
of it was all aimed at the police, and I'm like, good.
Yeah.
There was some woman that were recording that. It was in the Telegram chat that she recorded the whole thing when her car got flipped. She recorded that, and she couldn't do anything about it. And there was a couple of cruisers damaged.
We gotta watch our aim out there, y'all.
Well, there's a couple of cruisers that were damaged, and what's odd is they were damaged even though these SWAT cruisers were bulletproof and somewhat damage resistant.
Somehow you heard it here. All you need is rocks and bricks.
Remember that it takes exactly 5 slices of bologna on a helicopter blade to destabilize it to make it crash. Don't
allegedly
in Minecraft.
In
Minecraft.
So,
I think that the best takeaway from this is that and Florida is preparing to have their Daytona Bike Week, where they're expecting 300,000 to 400,000 people.
It's the biggest outdoor event beyond football or soccer in the state of Florida.
Yeah,
I know it's kind of cool. I was talking to Phil from All That Remains, I'm going on a show with him, and I'm like, dude, you just need to start putting guerrilla shows on, bro. Like just throw some fucking amps out. And
they should have done that last year. There's some guerrilla shows happening, but what they're doing is being arrested when they're happening.
Sorry, Jenny. I'll get melanated really quick.
You turn whiter.
We've upset. It's confused. Oh yeah. Now there's our melanated.
I've become more melanated.
Most of us are very low melanated. Oh, now we're racist though, because the people with low melanation are upstairs, and the people who look melanated in the face now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hey, does that mean you guys are wearing blackface? Y'all are canceled. No. You're canceled. You're canceled.
Yeah. Oh, unfortunate. I'll just cancel my Twitter career.
You're all
now.
canceled.
I'll
We're
go
gonna
home.
have to-
What is this? There's another brutality event that happened in Rochester.
Oh yeah.
A couple of them happened, including ones that we were
And there's one
involved
that
in.
happened in San Diego recently as well.
We've got a lot of police brutality to talk about. I kind of wanted to start off on that positive edge because I'm like, people are tired. People are tired.
Yeah,
They're reopening their businesses. They're going out to party. They're tired of this shit. And I mean, it's their choice. If you get COVID while out partying, I mean, that's what you get. But like, it's your choice. It should always have been your choice. Does anybody want to say anything about that before we move on to the police brutality that's gonna make me angry again?
That's like it's the same with the gun control thing. Like whatever happens, and people are gonna do whatever the fuck they want, and the ball's kind of already rolling. So it's like I'm not even interested in it anymore. Like people are just gonna do whatever the hell they want to do, and cops are gonna oppose it, and it's just like move the fuck on. You can't tell people to do either way. And if you haven't successfully convinced the population or supported, most importantly, supported the population enough so they can stay home, then people are going to fucking go out and they're going to fucking party. So it's
and they're going to burn masks in Idaho. Young kids are burning masks in Idaho.
Yeah, so it's like the ball's already rolling, and if it blows up in all of our fucking faces, then it blows up in all of our faces, and if it don't,
we have the
then it
right
don't.
to fail.
We have the right to
fail.
I'll just say you don't. Nobody's going to force you to take a vaccine, but for the love of God, please take a goddamn vaccine.
To be fair, though, like if
fair,
you walked up to me and start coughing on my ass, I'm probably gonna pop you.
I mean,
Like,
I get uncomfortable when people stand too close to me before fucking COVID.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I'm like, be fucking reasonable.
Social distancing. Let me put my arms out on the
Yeah, I love the memes where they're like that moment when you're kind of like, I don't want to go, like that moment when you're like, people are like, even when this is over, there's people out there being like, when this is over, I would still like you to stay 6 feet away from me because I'm still enjoying this.
I know. I saw that great quote where it's like, introverts don't hate the outdoors; they just hate that y'all are out there.
there was a case of people. There's not vaccine parties, but what I call vaccinations, where rich people are actually making this as a tourist thing, and sort of getting the vaccines when they really don't need to, and getting in front of people. So there's that end, and on the other end, there's a group of people saying, "Hey, what about us?" And it's like, "Well, what about you?" And these people are older white males who are getting disenfranchised from the vaccine when they should get it, but because they're not, socially or culturally relevant to the underserved populations of people of color, they're getting passed over. So you have two people, mostly the same color, white people on the opposite end of the spectrums. One is getting in front of the line, paying as they go, and the other one's getting left behind. So, it just goes to show you that with the vaccines, if you get it, you may not get the right one. You may not get both of them, or you may have a rich person get in front of you.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, like the whole COVID debate thing, I didn't even really get into the weeds on it. My whole thing was that you have one or two options. Either you let me provide for myself, and I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, or you provide for me enough so I can stay home. The government isn't fucking providing for anybody. People are fucking not getting their stimulus checks. They just cut fucking the amount of benefits you get. It's like, so what do you expect? Like,
it's getting to the point to where it's getting to the point to where if you're going to lock us down and not give us funding to help ourselves through this lockdown, then we're going to rebel in any way possible to say, hey, I can't survive this way, so I'm going to survive this in the only way I know how. And what's odd is I'm trying to see if there's a lot of movement in Alabama against the governor,
right?
And there's just not a lot of push. It's just even the Republican governors are not getting a lot of pushback as you would think they would from the constituents, but the Democratic side are doing it.
The status, though, that's the problem. Like with the Deep South, you have so many status motherfuckers around there, and it's like,
Statists are everywhere, though.
That's why like,
true.
people ask me like, why is the Boogaloo mostly in the Midwest? And I'm like, well, the coasts are completely disarmed, and the South worships the booth. You know, so it's like most of us are in the Midwest.
It's fucking ridiculous what's going on out there. And for the big deal that they're making out about like everybody who's supposed to have the thing, I realized earlier I was looking at the news and they actually like were being so slack-jawed about giving it to, or slipshod about giving it to the people that they were saying are the right people to get it first, that they ended up like vaccinating like 50 people who were not supposed to be getting it yet. Just because they showed up and said that they were. They didn't have any proof of it or anything. They just gave it to them anyways. And then people who needed it ended up getting, who were high risk, who thought that they needed it and wanted it. And if you want it, go get it. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. Like, they thought that they needed it and they were high risk. Those people who showed up that had the right to get it, they didn't get it because they gave it to people who needed it, who weren't on the list. And I'm just like, this is a shit show.
That's the same thing with everything around COVID.
It's a shit show.
It's the same thing that's been everything around COVID is just a fucking shit show. Like literally, what was it, like a couple days ago, they made the announcement that even if you were vaccinated, you had to continue to wear the mask. And then just today, the CDC came out and said something completely opposite, saying that if you're vaccinated, then you can gather indoors without a mask with other vaccinated people. And it's like, that's the opposite of what you just told people like a fucking week ago. Like, people are confused. It's so crazy that I can see like pro-lockdown people and anti-lockdown people cite the same source within a week from each other and neither of them be technically incorrect. Like, that's how much of a clusterfuck this is, you know?
It is a huge clusterfuck. And they're taking advantage of it to basically destroy the lower and middle class while they're doing it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Largest upward transfer of wealth in fucking human history.
This is not hurting the rich.
This makes what looks like what happened in Rome look like child's play.
Yeah, because they didn't nearly have enough riches. There's one thing that I wanted to tell Tommy about that I didn't mention in our previous chat with about the NAP, and briefly that was you're coming from the NAP from the outside from a volunteering standpoint, and then vice versa. Yes. I'm coming from the NAP inside, so I can only go so far in the NAP until I have to go to volunteerism.
Yes.
So that's
the goal.
That's the goal, and I didn't really abbreviate that until after the conversation.
No,
honestly, that was an excellent episode, and if you guys missed it, Snap Time, you should totally watch it. It was good.
But yeah, just to abridge the conversation, I think COVID, the protests, the police brutality has all made us Neanderthals now, and apparently Republicans love them. But it's like we kind of all were Neanderthals at one point, because we probably have at least 1% Neanderthal DNA in us.
I mean,
so
honestly,
we're all Neanderthals.
We should talk about that next, since it's COVID oriented, and then go on to the police brutality part.
No, I don't have Neanderthal. I'm 100% alien. Have you seen my forehead?
That's true.
I mean, yeah, look at that.
Speaking of foreheads, have you guys heard of like the incel thing about foreheads and like?
Yeah, I heard about that. Crazy. That is so weird.
Wait, what?
I was watching this video.
Okay, there is a incel ideology. Incel means involuntary celibate. The ideology is that there is a facial structure within the skull of Chads or alpha males that have women attracted to, because they're the perfect shape of what a male species is supposed to be. Well, their forehead represents that.
That sounds like a
eugenic shit. It's so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like a ton of hateful shit, because like it's been shown that women are more attracted to a symmetrical face as are men. It's shown that humanity is more attractive to symmetrical faces. So they're probably extrapolating from that or something akin to it, and then just going off on some bullshit, right?
I promise you that 90% of it is just looking at pictures of hot dudes and then like trying to boil it down into some fucking generic
shit. They're trying to to simplify it and boil it down, and I'm sure there ends up some racial component to it with half of them. Like, oh my fucking god!
Which also, real quick aside, kind of related to this, to anyone listening and anyone watching in the future, the super straight shit is bait. Stop falling for it. It's literally a troll. It was literally made by people to make you mad. The more energy you put into it, the more they win.
This is the first time I'm hearing Magnus. This is the first time I hear there is a hashtag called super straight.
Yeah, so essentially some 16-year-old kid like shit posted on fucking, I think it was like TikTok or something, that he's like, I'm super straight. And what super straight means is that I'm only attracted to people that were born the opposite sex. And it's essentially like, I will not date trans people. And they came up with their own flag for it and everything. It's just literally like brewed straight out of fucking 4chan. Like this is deliberately just to piss people off. Nobody's serious about it. It was only concocted to fucking trigger Twitter. And everyone just took the bait. And they're still taking the bait. I still have people just posting about like, oh, super straights are a bunch of transphobes and everything. Dude, they literally
I identify as a transhumanist, as a robot, as a Vulcan. That's who I identify as.
Magnus, you just got told you're an alpha male in the chats.
Yeah. And that it's because of your. It's only because of your beard, though. So
I've been called alpha male, and soy boy in the same day. Am I the singularity? Am I both coming together?
Oh my god!
Oh my god! So like.
Also, I'm drinking. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What is that?
Does that say load?
No, it's a Terrapin Luau beer.
Luau. Oh, well, that's not seasonal beer. You're not in season with that, dude.
It's always luau season. As long as there's a government, there's a luau season.
Okay.
So
aloha to you too.
So in case you guys don't know what the Neanderthal thing is, basically Biden was saying that the people who are reopening the governors that are reopening their states are stuck in Neanderthal thinking. And then, like, we don't have a bunch of other shit to worry about, the Republicans all started like posting things about how Neanderthals were smarter than they were believed to be, and all this other stuff, and that they're proud of being Neanderthals.
Which again, they took the bait.
In Neanderthal caucus,
got triggered.
There's a Neanderthal caucus.
There's a Neanderthal caucus now.
Yeah, and they're proud of being Neanderthals.
Well, guess what? I can interbreed with them and breed them out, so they won't survive anymore. That's what our ancestors did. 700,000 or not, about 50,000 years ago.
I don't think they did it through particularly peaceful methods, though.
Oh, well, they didn't know what the NAP was.
And it's it's not a libertarian caucus. It's a Republican caucus.
Oh, really quick, Kitty. Yeah, I know that like the people in the know are aware of this bullshit, but neo-lib fucking Twitter is like shitting their pants over it, and they don't realize that it's a joke. And not even that it's a joke, because it is like, it does come from some malice, but that it's bullshit. Like, it literally doesn't exist. There's not people like actually identifying this. It's just to make you mad, and if you get mad at it, then you're like buying into the shit. Like, this is the fucking Pepe thing and the OK hand sign and all over again. All over again.
Yeah.
Why do they?
I'm a white supremacist now.
Well, yeah, I don't get why they're so.
Oh, you just got us banned.
Fixated, so focused and fixated on super straight. I mean, it's like,
but the Neanderthal is the same shit. The Republicans.
It is. The Neanderthal is literally the same shit.
See, here's what's going to happen with the super straight thing. Like the all the Nazis are going to
comment up.
I think that's called Anprim. I think that's called Anprim.
No, but Creep is exactly right. Is what happens is like some people shit post it, and then it's just a joke. And if you ignore it, it goes away. But then they take it super fucking seriously, and then the actual shitheads pick it up and run with it. So it's like a self-perpetuating bullshit.
Yeah, they pick it. Well, I mean, fascists hate the fascists change their code words and idea and their little ways of communicating in dogwood on a monthly basis, because they need to stay low. Otherwise, authorities and other figures that would call them out would be able to track them easily. So like that's why they pick up shit like the OK sign, the Pepe, and now they're probably going to pick up the super straight thing. Like they're really good.
They appropriate the
good at it. Fucking dog whistles. Like, if there's one thing they know how to do, it's fucking dog whistles.
And they're just like people don't realize that they're the ones that are accidentally creating this shit. Like I literally remember when I was still on Facebook that I just like went on to 4chan because I shit post on 4chan, and I literally opened this thread where they're
that
like,
means you're a Nazi.
"Oh yeah, I know." not that like lefty poll and shit like that don't exist. Whatever.
Yeah.
But literally, there was this thread of people, and they're like, "We're going to take this picture of this purple bird." It literally meant nothing. It was just a purple fucking bird, and they're like, "We're going to tell people that this is a fascist dog whistle." And then they started posting it under all of these threads of journalists on Facebook, and then the journalists are like, "What is this?" And then they, pretending to be left wing, would be like, "It's a fascist dog whistle." And then they started writing stories about how this random purple fucking bird was a fascist dog whistle, and then it just, and it's like
it becomes one.
They're taking you for a fucking ride, dude. You need to get off the ride. Pump the brakes. Like don't buy into this shit.
They don't care. They have to buy into this shit. They have to keep doing it.
Coyote remembers
the
trash pigeon. Trash pigeon was what called.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like, God, I literally watch these
ridiculous.
motherfuckers in real time, like manipulate culture.
Our
like,
government is taking this Neanderthal thing so seriously that we have governors fucking making statements about it. And I mean, I'm probably hyper aware of this because it's my governor. And Asa is a piece of shit, but he's actually kind of right. And I hate to say that, but he's like, his statement on it was, well, I don't think it's fair to say it's Neanderthal type thinking. He told Fox News last Sunday, it's pretty natural to have a sensitivity to freedom-loving Americans that say we'll do the right thing. We know what to do. Just give us our freedom back and lift some of our mandates. That's not caveman thinking. That's common sense. But I mean, like, he's
You're
right.
Still making a statement about this, though.
But he's making a fucking statement about this. Like, it's that. These people are ridiculous. They will do anything to distract us away from the shit that's at hand.
Dude, I literally woke up, was it yesterday morning or the morning before, to videos of fucking Republican senators reading Dr. Seuss to a camera. And I'm like,
oh my God.
We live in fucking clown world. This is a joke.
It's just like they're getting triggered over Dr. Seuss, and it's like, yeah, a private company thought that shit was offensive, and they decided to cancel. It's not even, it's whatever. That's their fucking.
You could buy the rights to it and then just republish it.
Yeah.
If you really cared,
you know, if you really wanted to do this, there's a public library creep, I think. Disagreed with that, and this is a liberal public library, and they said, well, we're not going to ban any of the books, and we're going to reorder some of the books that were banned by the actual company.
But even then, like it's crazy that we're talking about this because there's riots all across the entire fucking planet. There's military actions across the entire planet. We're in the middle of lockdowns. Fucking the Derek Chauvin trial is going on, right? Like there's so much crazy shit happening right now, and I open Twitter to people reading fucking green eggs and ham. And it's like,
it is, but
just got a point. And now you've been exposed.
Look, I am going to read it right now. Let's read some Dr. Seuss right now.
You've been exposed now, though, Magnus. You're clown phobic.
I am clown phobic. In fact,
you're clown phobic.
My whole purpose in life is to destroy clowns.
Just repeat after me. It's a clown world where you live in super clown world.
Super clown
world.
I identify as super clown.
The clowns.
I identify
it's a mad world.
Hashtag super clown orientation.
And it's gonna get worse too, because the worst things that they're doing to people and the worst things that are happening in reality, the more of a distraction and fucking pony show, like
and they're the things they attempt to distract us with.
And pony show.
The things they attempt to distract us with are going to get more and more pathetic because they don't have the big orange baboon fucking tweeting random stupid shit every day. So they're going to look for anything. They're going to be desperate. What can we freak out about today? We don't have
like the Intercept.
Today's thing is something to do with the royal family being on Oprah.
Oh yeah.
Who fucking cares?
I mean,
my mom commandeered the TV to watch it. She's like, no, I need to go watch Harry and Meghan on Oprah, and I'm like, well, if that's not the most irrelevant sentence I've ever fucking heard, until they get up and say, until Harry gets up and says, my grandmother's a fucking Nazi and we're all terrible human beings, I don't care.
Isn't that basically what he did, though? Like he
Is
was
it?
talking about the racism and all that shit. Like I don't actually have a problem seeing hashtag cancel the royal family.
No,
Trendy.
it makes my
it's the
pee
fact that,
big
like,
pee.
It does. It makes me very happy.
100
But
years
it
of
is still
fucking
a
imperialism
distraction.
didn't make anyone say cancel the royal family. It was fucking crybaby royals.
They were
talking about
mean
not
to
making money.
Meghan.
If we want to have a conspiracy episode, who here thinks the royal family killed Diane?
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
I totally
Who
do.
does it?
Hey,
Like she
Tommy,
all but told us
Tommy,
they were going to.
there is a
So
slip
this is her.
up that
This is her son.
did. Yeah, her
Yeah,
son
this is
did
her
a slip
son.
up and
So
probably did a accidental confession about that.
But what I'm saying is, people are interested in seeing what's Harry being on Oprah, not because of the absurdity and the horror show that truly is the royal family. I mean, people forget that Queen Elizabeth's father was close personal friends with Hitler and helped get him on the cover of Time.
Yes.
George
Well, in the House of Windsor, right?
The House of Windsor is an inexistent facade, right? It was Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. They're Germans, nationally speaking. They're closer to being German than they are actual English.
Mhm.
Hashtag the royal family are Nazis.
They're all Nazis. Queen Elizabeth's father and the Pope at the time, I believe Pius XII is the name, and I believe her father was George VI, played an integral parts, each to themselves, of getting Adolf Hitler to be Time Person of the Year in 1940, months after the largest pro-Nazi rally ever held in America was done in Madison Square Garden. Two of the most important patrons of that were Barron Trump and Prescott Bush, who also happens to be distantly related to Queen Elizabeth. Prescott Bush being the father of Senior, the grandfather of Junior, George Bush Jr., and Barron Trump being the
build industry for the Nazis during the war.
didn't help build, literally built the infrastructure of the Poland Holocaust.
Talk about big ass distractions, y'all.
And so it's like Harry is like, I feel like he's getting up there and trying to do something good, but he's having to do it through so much bullshit that will water it down. And so, like, I'll take the cancel the royal family and run with it. But like, people aren't, my mom's not running down to the TV to watch fucking Harry and Meghan Markle on Oprah.
Expose the royal family about what they should be.
She's watching it because it's a tabloid that she's been following for 30 years with Charles and Diana and all those little fucking cucks.
That sounds like people that are addicted to the Daily Mail over at UK.
Yeah, but
talk
what
about
I think,
weird shit. Every time people talk about that, it freaks me out because
Princess
the night
Diana,
that she got in her wreck and died, I had actually had an accident on a vehicle and was literally like half conscious in the hospital watching it on the TV.
Her funeral
is real shit.
Her funeral is one of my earliest memories. If I want to make you feel old.
Well, no, her funeral
shit.
was after I graduated boot camp in the military.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was 3 or 4 years old at the time.
Yeah,
the
like
accident where I literally like ripped my face off and it was like hanging half off my skull because
I legally was able to drink
like,
at that.
That was the night. That was the night that Princess Diana died, and like that was all I could remember because I had a concussion.
Oh, dude, and her being connected to Mother Teresa. If you want to get into some dark rabbit holes, talk about Mother Teresa.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing why it's bullshit, and I don't care. That's why it's bullshit, and I don't care. Is because like if they're literally getting on TV, if they're getting on TV and going on Oprah to condemn the royal family and blah, Henry knows all this shit. He knows all this shit, and he ain't talking about it. So,
who used to, Margaret Singer.
Yeah, it's a smoking, it's a horse and pony show. It's smoke and mirrors. If Henry
all
really wanted to cancel the royal family, he'd be dropping bombs. He'd be.
I don't know. Does he want? Does he not want to die though? I mean, that's the way I look at it. Is like maybe, and also, Mike has talked about red pilling people slowly, right?
Yeah.
And maybe there is a method to the madness.
This is probably not the topic you would red pill them slowly with, though. This is a step into the shallow and then fall into the deep end. Like it just shuts out.
I'm just saying. I'm giving Henry. I'm giving the dude a fighting chance that maybe he is actually just doing it slowly. Who the fuck knows? Because this ties into Epstein too. Because Ghislaine Maxwell's father worked with Mother Teresa for decades.
Oh shit, y'all! We're big enough to start getting spam.
We got bots.
We got bots.
Wow.
God,
That's
bye.
amazing.
Ooh.
Speak
I
about
feel-
doing big
that's
things
my
over here.
kindred. That's
Look,
my
I can
kindred.
do it too. I can
Mike,
cause
Bobby-
distractions.
Are we gonna have a party for when you hit 1,000 subscribers?
Oh yeah, we're gonna throw a big ass party because then
We're-
I can use the GoPro directly.
Y'all not
Yeah.
partying? I'm always partying.
Well, I mean, to an extent, yes.
No, I'm
Um,
pretty boring these days.
But I'm just so fucking done with the distractions. Like, I wanted to bring these up because like I'm fucking just tired of it. I keep not mentioning these just stupid distractions on the show and like
Mhm.
not bringing it up, and nobody else is bringing it up either. Probably, I assume, because they think it's stupid.
I merely bring it up because we can
But I
also
finally
use
got
these.
tired of it.
These distractions can be valuable if we use them in a true counter propaganda sense to red
Yeah.
pill people.
Hijack people.
Exactly.
Hijack
Yes,
that
Yeah.
I
shit.
can.
So if
Hijack
we
the
observe
cancel
them,
royal family. Hijack the fuck
yeah,
out of that.
exactly. I mean, Save Our Children was hijacked from the Gates Foundation.
Yeah.
Well, you want to. What about save our girls? Save our girls. You remember all the Nigerian young girls that are getting kidnapped twice
Yeah.
this year alone. There's been over 300 girls kidnapped. None a peep. And I'm like, hashtag save our girls. Where's that now? And it's like, oh, well, it's not convenient now because we're worried about internal politics of just Potato Head and of course Dr. Seuss. So hashtag save our girls.
I don't know. I
Say
named
no
my
to
Last
culture war
episode,
bullshit.
if you missed it, I blamed Potato Head for the reason why I'm weird.
Yeah, that was
next episode.
Next episode.
But
That was the last episode.
so yeah,
That was the
there-
last
last-
episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say. If I name my
I
dick
was like,
Mr.
everything
If I
goes in their butts because
Okay.
it's got the little
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a distraction.
and you
if
cram
if
it-
I name my penis Potato Head, does that mean my dick is gender neutral?
Ooh, that creates a whole new sexuality, doesn't it? Gender neutral
I know.
penises.
I know because I'm from Idaho, so like my dick has already been named Mr. Potato Head, like at birth.
I mean, like, fair. Well, shit. They will always do these distractions. You guys keep your fucking eyes
Oh, what the
open.
fuck? Bang Switch
Anytime.
Activator just released a fucking. He just went down.
NFT.
Yeah, he just went and interviewed that Vermont fucking encampment that's like under siege right now.
Oh yeah.
Agro
Oh,
too. He just posted
ended
this
up
video.
who ended up
Really?
interviewing him?
Bang Switch Actuator on Twitter.
Nice. I think. Yeah, I
Interesting.
know.
We'll have to
I know
check
who
that
you're
out.
talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that right after this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
go check that out when we're done too. Also, if you're here, don't forget to like. Don't forget to
Share.
like and share
And
share.
subscribe.
And,
Like,
and I
share,
mean subscribe.
comment,
Yes,
subscribe.
Here,
Like,
here,
share,
here,
subscribe.
here. I'll get my. Okay, now you can share.
Even though we fucked up the whole like intro on this episode.
Yeah, you're
Did
It's
you?
not the only time. It's just not the only time, man.
I came in late.
bro.
Distractions are okay. Like the partying, despite the bullshit, is good. Distractions are amusing but sad. Now we're gonna go into something that
But
fucking
distractions
pisses
can-
everybody off.
But an addendum: distractions can be used to red pill
To red pill.
people. Yes.
Yes.
Carry
exactly.
on, wayward. Carry on, wayward fuckface.
All right. So, and I don't even fucking contest that. I'm just like, yeah, that's me. We have police brutality all the time, all the goddamn time.
Yes,
And I just
Wait.
grabbed some of them, and I'd already grabbed some, and then Creep pops in and goes, "Look at this shit," and I'm like, "God, we've already got a segment set up. I'll just throw it in there."
Wait,
Do you want
you-
to
you're
start
tell-
with San Diego, Creep? You want to explain what happened? I got the videos.
Wait,
in
I
here,
just want to
too.
clarify. I'm confused. Am I in the wrong spot? Because I thought the show Back the Blue. I'm in the wrong spot. Fuck.
Well, I got some blue right here, baby.
Dude, I got in trouble on Twitter because I
Stack the blue.
posted a meme about
Stack the
how
blue, brother.
I saw this meme and I
Fuck
don't
it.
remember where it was, but I totally stole it. And then I posted it over on Twitter, right? And it's like, look, these Back the Blue it was showing a picture of a Back the Blue flag, and it was like, look, next time you see one of these, this just know that this is one of your community members DIY pride flags. And if you want to be nice, you can go ahead and
Oh yeah, I saw
color it in. And oh my God. Like, you want to talk about fucking snowflakes? The libertarians threw a fit because it's breaking the NAP. And I mean, I don't have a problem
It's a
with
joke, bro.
wanting to respect it, but dude, it's a fucking
bro.
joke. Like,
a
it's a fucking joke. Like, I let people discuss it for a little while, and then I just popped in and I was like, it's a fucking meme, you snowflakes.
Fucking, they ridiculous, dude.
Calm the fuck down.
but
And,
dude,
and
I
they
got-
have
I
the
got-
audacity.
This is why I don't respect the NAP, because then I look at them like, okay, but couldn't one say that the adherence to the authority of the state is violating the NAP in of itself, and that I have the right to perpetrate subversion against that? And then they look at you like you're a fucking deer in the headlights, and yeah, they just stare at you, an angry, closeted Republican, and you walk on your way.
And it's
Yeah,
really funny
it's-
because I got a shitstorm on the other side because I made a meme where like the top of it was like leftists back the blue. Well, sorry, leftists. ACAB. All cops are bastards. And then it's like, Democrats after Biden got elected, and it's a picture of the Chinese flag with a thin blue line in the middle of it.
Yeah, I've seen
It's
that.
like it's so true too because they literally they voted unanimously to fund the police. After crying about the cops for fucking 4 years, they funded the cops.
Yeah.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
They lit.
Yeah,
Our vice president is literally a fucking cop.
Or had no intention of doing any defund the police activity.
Our
Yeah.
vice president is a cop.
Creep. They put
Our vice
MLK
president
on
is
the
a fucking
side.
cop.
But creep.
Yeah.
They put MLK on the side of a police cruiser.
I know.
I can't. One of my favorite shoe on head quote is like, I can't wait for a black dude to get stomped the fuck out on Black Lives Matter Street. It's like that's fucking so true.
They dressed up as a Wakanda chess set.
Oh my god.
That was one of the
Ooh.
cringest fucking things I ever seen.
Hashtag woke. And then they're all like dabbing and shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't
Very
even
small
know what to
PP
say
editor.
about it
Husband
anymore
grabs a
because,
butt.
like, at first I used to think that the middle, like, the people who were not part of the left or the right, American left or right, were chill. But they're not. They're not. They're a bunch of fucking snowflakes just like everybody else at this point. They've fallen victim to the
Very
game.
much.
Yeah, because like
And-
a giant fucking like trans debate that wasn't even a trans debate broke out between Dave Smith and a bunch of fucking people, and it was like, dude, this is stupid. Like y'all aren't even arguing like anything. You're not even arguing over like trans rights or none of that shit. You're arguing of like stupid semantics and slapping and getting like fucking triggered at each other for making simple statements. It's like, guys, shut the fuck up. Just relax. Oh my god.
Pretty much.
I'm sick of it. But
Police brutality.
yes, police brutality. You want to start with San Diego down there, creep? I got the
Yeah.
videos here.
Throw up that video.
All right, we're gonna show you the one that'll tick you off the. Well, do we go with the one
Let's
where
say
they're? Which one do you want me to post first?
Let's go with the houseless man first.
Well, the
Okay.
same. Last week
Y'all-
on my show, we covered fucking brutality in jails, so I don't think I can get any more triggered than that was because that fucking.
Be
pissed
prepared to
visibly.
be upset about this because this happened.
Prepare thy knife.
How you doing? San Diego Police. How you doing, partner? Everything all right? Sir?
What?
I got some
I'm hungry.
I got some reports of you acting a little strange over here in possession of a knife.
I'm strange. I don't have a knife.
No to have a knife?
Fuck.
Okay,
Do I look
that's
like I
good.
have a knife?
Well, I'm just
I'm
asking.
hungry.
Okay. You do me a favor?
What?
Can I get you to put the food down real quick?
No. I'm gonna eat it.
Do you have a knife anywhere over in your property?
Maybe on the car.
Okay, why don't we stay away from the car?
Maybe on the
Can you
car.
come over here?
I don't know. Go look at me while I'm sitting over here.
There you go. Thank you.
I'm looking tired. I'm hungry. I don't have a knife. Jesus Christ.
Okay, somebody said you were waving a knife around, acting crazy over here.
I'm waving my brains on. Yeah.
Is all this yours?
Sir, I had everything ready to go to get some food. And some guy drove by and hit my fucking car like this.
Okay.
Knocked it over again. Take your time.
4263. I'm contacting White and does not appear to be armed at this point.
Back
He
off.
has food in his hands.
I'm eating.
Okay, do me a favor. I need you to go ahead and put that down.
What?
Okay?
No!
Come on. I'm not going to take it away from
Get
you.
away from me.
Come on.
Don't touch me.
Oh,
Back
don't go
off.
this way.
Why did you make such a mess, sir?
He said somebody knocked his cart over. Hey, you got a knife in your back pocket. Do not grab that knife.
Jesus Christ, I didn't. Holy fuck! Oh my God! What was there, a taser gun? I didn't pull it on you.
All right, hold on,
I
sir.
didn't shoot you. Jesus Christ! Did you shoot me?
Okay, I don't know.
Oh my God!
Was he even hit? Yes.
Help me! Oh,
Roll medics for 50 or 60-year-old male.
I don't know.
Where's your knife at, sir?
What was that? Oh, Jesus
He
Christ!
put it down. He threw it down on the ground right here.
Why? Why?
Why is that necessary?
Why? Why?
It's because fucking pigs are stupid and people call them simple ass shit when they should just leave the old guy alone. And like
Put
it's
the
just
food
like you
down.
can't-
Why?
yeah. Like he literally is just like, okay, put the knife down. He's and like obviously the old guy was not mentally all there. Like he obviously has mental health issues and he was distressed that the cops are just like surrounding him like that. Just they like if they literally just left him alone, like nothing would have happened. Like honestly, they could have just said, "Hey, somebody said you were waving a knife around. Could you not do that? Thanks. Anyways, later."
I mean, and-
Because guess what, motherfucker? I can go out in the middle of the street right now with a goddamn machete and just fucking wave it around and then go back inside. It's not against the law. I'm not threatening anybody with it. I'm not fucking.
Well, and
Yeah.
it was like, even though he pulled it out like that, it was very clear he was limp-wristed with it, and he was going to drop it. Like he was.
Dude, he had
Like he
he
was
had fucking
throwing it.
he had like fucking Schmiegel posture, dude. Are you really
Yeah,
threatened by this
no.
man?
He
Are
did
you
not
really-
want to be touched. He did not want to give up his food.
He was not a threat that required lethal force in any way, shape, or form. And it's just like these cops are just fucking trained to do that. And
Back
and
off.
They can't like that. Yeah, they can't just back off. Like even the kooky old guy could just be like, back off. Like all you have to do is take a step back and let him eat his fucking soup and leave him alone.
This is what I talked about on my podcast about how cops so often do this this fucking path of least resistance convenient shit. Like they know in their head that they can solve this issue more peacefully and more respectfully if they just take their fucking time. But they don't want to take their time.
They don't want to
just want to get this shit over with right now. Get it over with.
Yeah.
And fucking move on. Bang bang. Next call. And
Yeah,
I saw that
exactly.
they're
Boink, boink, bang, bang, just another day.
immediately they walk up to him. What are you doing here? Put the food down. They start fucking encroaching on him, and it's like, dude, take a moment, just chill the fuck out, bro. Like, oh my god. I thought I wouldn't get triggered again, but I'm fucking mad.
Oh
Yeah, I need a
told
cigarette.
you,
I'll be back in a
like,
sec.
I'm typically pretty fucking triggered about cops to begin with, but like that one actually got me fucking really upset. Like I was like, damn it. I was trying to have a better day,
Okay,
and
well,
we see this
you know,
shit, and I can't not get angry. Like even though it happens every day, it makes me angry every day.
And like we'll talk about it more when we get to what's going on in Louisville and Kentucky. But just real quick, there was a fucking video from a live stream of this cop standing in front of these protesters, and they're asking them to get off the staircase because it's private property. And like again, there's no riot going on. Nobody's breaking laws. It's just a peaceful march. This fucking cop, and I will get up and demonstrate this because I have the means to. This is how this motherfucker was facing protesters with signs and shit.
Protesters with signs, like he was ready.
He
like,
was
what
ready.
did he
He
think
was-
they were gonna do? Kill him with their fucking cardboard?
Yeah.
That's sad. That's fucking
Hey,
sick. But
I
these
had-
people are so
chill.
often, quote, fearing for their lives. Well, if you're that fucking afraid, you don't need to be a goddamn cop. You don't need to have a fucking like, I'm sorry, but if you're that fucking afraid, you're a danger to the people around you.
Yeah.
And like, what? Like, dude, take a breath, take a lap, drink a fucking, smoke a cigarette or some shit, dude. Like, are you kidding me?
I think I have a not an alternative opinion, but something that really is not discussed heavily, and that's each officer goes into every situation almost like they're the same. Like the standard operating procedure is to treat each individual as if, not only if they're a threat, but also that there is no nuance or differentiation from one situation to the next. So they're always prepared to take every situation as if it's the same over and over. There is no deviation from that. The training doesn't support that. It only supports, hey, this is what you need to do in order to they don't say protect yourself. They say to make sure that the escalation is you having the gun ready to shoot and ending the escalation is not when an officer and an assailant escalating arguments, but is you are there. The training says once you are there and the police come to you, you are the escalation. Their gun pointing at you is to end said escalation. That is actual training that is done not just now, but over the last few decades.
Yeah,
and it's coming from two places, from the military and from Israel. Those two places act like every situation now is a war zone, so you have to act like that. And so the militarization of the police up until today has really pushed this point of every person's an escalation, not the situation, but the person. So every person now has escalated just because you were in front of them. You were in front of the police.
Yeah. And what's really shitty about that situation is like when they're asking like hey, like, why is all this trash everywhere? He's just like, some asshole came and knocked it down like 6 times or something. And
they didn't ask him if he was okay or
yeah,
what
exactly.
happened.
Yeah,
like that.
It's like that's down where that situation happened was down in Pacific Beach, and in Pacific Beach there's a certain sect of people down there that really hate the houseless population. Like they treat them like shit. There's one guy. He's definitely. He was some fucking neo-Nazi asshole, totally pulled a knife when we were doing the PB protest, and then we like chased him off because like it was like 10 of us against him, and he wasn't about to fuck with us even with the knife.
Wise.
Yeah, like seriously, like that guy died. He pulled his knife and then just started running like a little bitch. I was like, and then like I think some people like smashed his bike up too, which was funny. Anyways, basically. There's him, and then there's these fucking people called Something Angels. I followed them and took track of them, and like they literally just post videos of them just like harassing houseless folk and calling them like drug addicts and bike thieves and all this stuff. And it's all because like there's like maybe a couple guys that are actual like bike thieves in Pacific Beach, and like they just want to fucking harass every houseless person because like maybe a couple dudes like are stealing bikes. It's really ridiculous. So I'm pretty sure one of those fucking Karens called the fucking cop on this guy, and that's how that situation unfolded. So yeah, once again, I just got to reiterate: stop calling the cops on shit that's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, kind of like related, like, how they hear about another crime having happened and they just overlook it. Like, that's kind of what happened with Lizard the other night, because they have somebody that the neighborhood has tried to call the police on and they won't do anything about it. And then they ended up, like, assaulting him and threatening him with a knife and saying that they were going to disappear him. And when the police got there and he mentioned all of that, no, they just went after him and treated him like shit and threw him in the back of the car. They didn't I doubt they're ever going to fucking look into it. Like, it's bullshit. They don't care about actually protecting people. All they care about is control.
Why do these neighbors feel the need to call the cops on them? I'm kind of curious about that. Like, I'm probably bullshit, but I'm always curious about bullshit reasonings. Just
let's just be like 100% devil's advocate. Let's just say that this man is a fucking scumbag and he's harassing fucking people and he's stealing shit and he's swinging a knife around or whatever. Nobody in the community can handle that man. Nobody.
Yeah.
That man.
Yeah, Mr. Hunchback. Like seriously, yeah, it's just
You guys can't police that yourself. You know, no fucking sweaty like California beach fucking bro can go out there and just set the record straight. Like you got to call the cops.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Well, at this point, I'm like, don't ever call the cops, but like normies are still gonna do it, and I'm like, I tell them, I'm like, look, don't call the cops for anything you don't want someone to be shot for.
Yeah.
If it ain't to the point where you need fucking
they will kill
unlimited
people
rifles,
on fucking wellness checks. They will kill you on a wellness check.
Yeah. Oh, you want to get personal for me? We have that 13-year-old boy that was shot here in Salt Lake City. Well, not here because I'm not in Salt Lake City. Anyways, it was in Salt Lake City time, and I heard the gunshots because I was in the middle of a DoorDash delivery at the time, and it took me a while to like actually even like get my head around it. I hear bang, 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 bang. You know, it ended up being like 11 shots, but there's these first 2 shots. The first. I look over, I'm like, what the fuck? There's a block over from me. And his mom, the kid's autistic, and his mom called for a welfare check. And they showed up, and there was a suspicion that he had a BB gun and that he could possibly have it. And the cops were just getting super aggro with him, and he just starts running. Shoot him, I think it was 9 or 11 times in the back.
Oh my god. That's terrible. Dude, yeah, cops should never be called for a
that shit. I thought like after, I mean, at that point, I mean, 6 months of the boog being like a big thing, having been in it from the gate, like I thought I couldn't get more radicalized. And then I witnessed that. And I'm like, yeah, I was wrong. Started trolling. That's actually when I got my first Facebook ban because I started sending some very anti-cop memes to the Salt Lake City police page. And he's gonna get off.
I think all of us got our Facebook removed for like shit posting directly to police departments' fucking Facebook pages. Like I was directly.
I'm still around. I am still on Facebook. My personal and my Tommy account. I have no clue how that's happened. I mean, they've put severe restrictions on me, and it's clearly strategic because like it happened right before the VP debate that was in Salt Lake City that I was there for. It was like very strategically put when they started banning me right before the election. At one point they banned me, and the post they showed that was offensive material was a blank white screen.
I remember the thing that got my first account was going directly to fucking Montgomery County PD, which I'm pretty sure is what it's called, which was Duncan Lemp's police department, and telling them that I was going to come down there and fuck everyone's dad. That was the post that got me immediately yeeted.
Which by the way,
there was a guy in our fucking thing. He would always yell at the cops like, "I'm going to fuck your dad."
On the note of current events, the 12th is a year. Friday is a year.
Yeah, and we were supposed to have an event for him, but it was run by he who will not be fucking named, and it's kind of all fallen apart ever since. Ford Fisher
they're still having a gathering. It's just not armed.
Well,
yeah, even the gathering, like we were supposed to be more organized. We were supposed to have more people there. Ford Fisher even asked me about it. He's like, "What's going on?
Yeah,
Should I show up and everything?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what the fuck's going on."
Well, because Dunn has run it from the gate. Boog Voldemort has run it from the gate. I mean,
Voldemort.
Boog Voldemort. I mean, I know they're. I actually know their loadout zone in case anybody wants to know it. But
going back into the whole topic of like cops being brutes and shit like that, like we have another fucking example of them just this week being complete assholes again. And I mean, after I show it, I mean, if you want to talk about it in a second, creepy totes can. But check. Watch this shit. They're brutes. They're literal brutes. I love your beard, Magnus. One fell out.
Hey, will you record this?
I already got it. Don't worry, we got this.
Move back! Move back the bike! Do not touch the bike! Do not touch the bike!
Mobile fence line!
Mobile fence line!
Move back! Move back!
Move back, sir! You want me to move back? Move back!
Hey, you guys are being hella violent.
Move back! The price is right there. You need to move back.
Hey, they're doing it on purpose. Hey, they do it on purpose.
All vehicles and medical supplies, you have to let
Just so you know, they're doing it on purpose.
What's good, fascist?
Like,
Right.
look at them just coming in like that. Like that.
I'm not touching you. Don't touch
They
me.
created that.
I'm not touching you. Don't touch me.
So backstory on that. So that was an anti-ICE protest. Abolish ICE. Fuck the American Gestapo. Anyways, and what was happening was, I mean, we were just kind of marching, and we were just kind of doing our thing, and for some reason, the cops came up at our rear line, and they started getting hell of aggressive with people, and I think they were also like shoving the neutral legal observers. They're usually the ones dressed in green. You didn't really see them in that video, but like yeah, they were fucking with them. So like I started running back there with the security team and just like being like, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? Have you lost your fucking minds? Like, you're literally shoving the neutral legal observers. Like, you guys are going to get fucked. And you see, and those particular cops you see in the video, that's the bike squad, and they're pretty infamous in San Diego because they're usually 9 times out of 10 when some fuck shit happens at a protest and they're trying, and the cops are getting hella violent and making arrests for no reason, it's the fucking bike squad. And
Same in Chicago, because their dedicated bike team was for grabbing couriers, because you know Chicago has a lot of couriers. Those are some just high on their fucking self, like aggro motherfuckers. The bike squad, always. There's something about that unit that like attracts just.
I don't know what the fuck it is, because it's like you're not that fucking badass looking on your little bike with your little shorts.
That's exactly what it is, though. It's a Napoleon complex. They're just like, oh, I don't get a motorcycle or a car like my buddy, so I'm just going to bash somebody's skull in with my bike at a protest.
Dude, literally, when we were walking up to J17, there was like 13 bike cops going by in fucking formation, and we literally just went no, like cops.
What
cops.
Mike, Bobby, I sent you the link to the Salt Lake City shooting. I don't know if you want to play it now, but I sent it to you. I know it's not recent, but it's a doozy if we're talking about this right now.
It's never too late to be mad.
I sent to you on.
Yeah, let me. I gotta pull it up and put the sound on. You
know what's odd is there's several instances that's happened here in the South, but it's odd that the protest for the people that got murdered by the police department here in Alabama, they're some of the most respectable protests about a murder I've ever seen.
The South is just the South, bro.
I know, it's just kind of bizarre that I don't see all that much down here.
The Midwest is fucking insane, and the coasts are even more fucking insane. That's just how it goes.
Here we go. Let's just take a stroll back down memory lane, I suppose, y'all.
That's the voice of Golda Barton, the mother of 13-year-old Lyndon Cameron. She called 911 as her son, who has autism, was having a mental crisis. Moments after placing that call, she meets with officers in front of her home and explains the challenges of getting her son the care he needs.
You're the only people we can call because the insurance, I paid like freaking like a whole year's worth of salary last month to get him treatment in Nevada because his insurance wouldn't cover it.
The conversation continues for several minutes, and an officer asks if Lyndon has a weapon.
I do know that my worker was like, did you know like Lyndon has like a BB gun? And I was like,
are you sure it's a BB gun?
I don't know if it's a BB gun. I don't know if it's a pellet gun. I don't know if it's a prop weapon. He's my other son.
But you don't know if it's a real gun either.
I don't believe it's a real gun.
Pretty fucked up, ma'am.
So
You killed your son right there.
Kind of treat them all as if they are.
About 10 minutes later, Lyndon runs from the house.
Hey, please, stop running!
As Lyndon runs away, 2 more officers arrive and encounter the teen as he makes his way toward the street.
Stop! Get on the ground! Knock it off! Back to you guys! Coming back to you!
Lyndon now is running back through the alley toward the other officers. This is video from the officer who fired the shots. It sounds like the boy tells the officers he has a weapon. The chase continues for about 30 seconds, moving from the alley to the sidewalk.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! On
The boy doesn't follow the commands. Seconds later, the shots are fired.
Hey, show me your hands. Show me your hands. I don't feel good. Show me your hands. My mom, I love her.
The audio indicates one officer fired at least 10 shots. Mayor Aaron Mendenhall joined Chief Mike Brown to deliver prepared remarks before the video was released.
Here we are in this room again.
Mendenhall did not comment on the ongoing investigation, but said she hopes it's done quickly and thoroughly.
As a member of this community and as the mother of a 14-year-old boy, I am profoundly heartbroken and I am frustrated. This shooting is another tragedy.
Chief Brown expressed his frustration, describing a lack of mental health resources as a crisis, a void in the community he believes creates more risks.
Too often our officers are called to deal with these difficult problems, which frequently are not criminal in nature.
Yeah, that shit is fucking...
Dude, the wildest thing about these checkups is that there is no law broken. They're not being called to answer for a crime. Nobody's done anything fucking illegal. They're calling literally to make sure this person is fucking okay. And then the person runs. It's like, okay, well, he's fucking running because he can run. There's no reason he can't run. He didn't break any fucking crimes. He can run. And they chase his ass.
Like I said, Magnus, every single time, every officer goes in to not to de-escalate, but to end the escalation. The escalation is they got called.
Yeah.
That's the escalation.
That is the
And
escalation.
Unloaded the whole clip too. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That
The one that always
still fucking hard for me to
I'm like,
watch.
that-
I mean,
the
they're
one that
all
gets-
hard to watch, but
Yeah.
the one that gets me is hearing him say, "Tell my mom I love her." That's the one. That's
yeah,
the
that
part
yeah.
that
fucking kills me. Like I
fucks
just,
me up.
I'm glad I'm wearing sunglasses. It's just
Tommy's
this
got it
is
right.
What it is. This
Tommy's
is
got
what
it right.
is.
Tommy's got it right. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. And then we had the whole thing in Greenville where they protested because the video came out where they pulled this dude out of the back of a police car and then they slammed the fucking cop door, the car door on his head.
Yep, I remember.
And I don't know if anyone's like felt a car, like a cop car door. This is not a regular car door. All right, this thing is fucking a hunk of
they're
metal.
reinforced.
And he was like, "I didn't see you there." Bullshit, motherfucker. He's handcuffed. You're pulling him out of a police cruiser. You fucking slam his head in the door. It's like,
and the police officer that blamed it on mental health, that is not an excuse or reason. If you go out on these calls, you're basically calling for an officer, an armed individual, to check up on an unarmed individual, no matter what that person is. I think, to be honest, those that call the police to have somebody check up on them, the police department should turn those calls down and refer to either a mental health professional or their family.
call your fucking neighbor, dude.
Or neighbor. Yeah.
Call
I
your
mean,
neighbor.
do not call the cops on this because they're not trained. As you can see, they're only trained to make sure they end the escalation. Not
And
to
this
check
is
up
the same
on
police.
health.
This is the same police department that had that issue at the hospital where they're trying to get the dude's blood.
Yep.
And they arrested the nurse for refusing to do it.
Yep.
And so that's the same police chief. That's the same police chief. And it's like, they say, well, look, they say we need to give these cops more education and shit. I'm like, then why are you still the police chief after all of this?
You can't educate basic fucking human decency, dude. Like, okay,
No. Well, that's kind of the point I'm getting to.
I'm boog as hell, I'm ACAB as hell, but I'm probably, when it comes to a moment to moment basis, like the least harsh, just like fucking Mike is saying, to my right, left, whatever it is on this, of like, yes, there's training issues and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like, if you can't stop in that fucking moment and realize, like, hey, maybe I'm doing something wrong, I don't think you can fix that. I don't think any money can fix that. I don't think any training can fix that. Like,
yeah.
Same with the
Someone was
homeless dude.
asking,
Same with the homeless dude. Literally, like, you just lit this old man up, and did you hear his fucking voice after that? He's just like, oh, well, I shot him.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
And what's
He does
interesting
not
about that
care.
video is you didn't hear it, but the other cop looks at him and goes, "What the hell did you do in the Cameron Linden shooting?" When they showed the boy, the other cop calls him out in the video. You hear it in the raw footage. Why did you do that? I wanted to send you the news clip because it talks. It's hard to find the compiled of the mom talking to the cops.
Do you
first,
remember what
but
the boy's name was? Because there have been so many of these that
He just
I
said
can't
it. He just said
Cameron Linden.
Cameron Linden, yeah.
Just making sure it was said clearly because somebody was asking
On the flag.
about that.
Straight on the flag.
Yeah.
Hashtag
So he's
Cameron
still
Linden.
he's still alive, but I think like he's like paralyzed or something. He's like permanently fucked up from it. So,
Well, and I mean, we covered the Rochester thing where they maced the 9-year-old child, and I was like just floored by the audacity of people macing a fucking 9-year-old child, especially after the child had insinuated that there had been violence. Instead of going to check out the violence, they decided they were going to mace a child instead.
well, what it
The
shows is
same
that
people who did that this week, they chased down a lady who was holding a toddler and tackled her and were like fighting with her and macing her while this toddler was just wandering in the fucking street until another cop showed up to fucking take care of the child. They just let this child wander around this violent scene while they were attacking their mother and shit like that. These people
What was that?
don't
What was
know
that
how
high
to handle
school?
human beings.
That high school girl. She was like 12 or 13, and in the video fucking came out of the cops literally suplexing this fucking little black girl.
Yeah.
And dude, I was at my fucking uncle's house, and my uncle is like, he watches like live PD all the fucking time. Like this dude's like cops all day, yay cops. Even he was like, oof. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like people are starting to realize it's out of control. It's to this point.
Well, you want to take a look at how out of control cops are. Take a look at the uniforms that cops wore in the 1960s versus how they wear them now. I mean,
Yeah,
just
it's
I can't
exactly
even
where it
recognize
went
their
from-
uniforms.
Where it went from police officer to law enforcement. You can
Exactly.
watch it happen. You can watch it in real fucking time. Like slowly go from the nice little dress blues and the smile with the little hat to like fucking gear to go to a mental health.
Well, what happened, Magnus, is I mean, I root a lot of it to the Rodney King trials, right?
I'm all pissed off. I gotta smoke. I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm in the same. I root a lot of this to the Rodney
Go through a
King.
whole episode because we keep having to take breaks because we're too fucking angry.
Oh, that's the name of the game. No, I want to just make a point. I root a lot of that to the Rodney King trial, right? The beating, which I think just was the anniversary for that. The beating itself was just a few days ago.
It was.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of it, because they basically had to legitimize the police force or people were going to come up against it, right? And so I tell my parents this, and they don't like to hear it, but I'm like, your generation basically they turned it into a court TV spectacle, the trial. And y'all, I mean, it wasn't an issue for you. You just sat there and watched it, and they legitimized the police force. I mean, Clinton mentioned expanding the police in like 6 of his 8 State of the Unions. I mean, all pushed by Biden. And that's what they had to do in response to the Rodney King debacle, right? And so they had to legitimize the police force. And the only way they could do that was through, I mean, it's a weird double-edged sword of allowing them to no longer serve and protect while convincing people that that's what they were doing. Because before that was never their purpose was to serve and protect. They weren't there to enforce anything, right?
Right.
Not in the sense that we know today.
Yeah, not like
So
that.
it's just it's a weird dichotomy that they've that the propaganda in the last 30 years has become, this entire notion of serve and protect. Meanwhile, they've legally made it so they don't have to serve and protect. It's Castle Rock versus Gonzalez, and then you have the community aid doctrine, right? So those two are really interesting. I forget the court case on that. But while they've said that cops aren't there to serve and protect, they've said cops can enforce based on the notion that they're there to serve and protect.
Yeah,
So
you said enforcement. Yeah.
They've expanded their authority within serve and protect while saying they don't have to serve and protect, right? It's the ultimate Trojan horse of a fascistic state. Frankly, at the end of the day,
they serve and protect the people that pay, not necessarily pay their salaries, but making sure that keeps them in authority, and that's the politicians. They serve and protect the politicians.
Well, there's that too, but they serve and protect an idea that they're legitimate. They serve and protect the idea that there's legitimacy to the authority of the state.
Right. But yeah, I do think that it's interesting how the police act around the world. I mean, you have police in the UK, in France, Germany, Armenia, Myanmar, and so on and so forth that are acting. The military is not even there. The police now are the military.
Yeah,
and
and
very fascinating.
They're firing live rounds on people in Myanmar.
Yeah, they are. And this next clip, sort of news story, I really wasn't aware of it until recently. America asks China to help protect democracy in Myanmar. Now, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
Right? Like, we have made a big show out of asking Myanmar to be nice to the people and to release because they're arresting and imprisoning journalists and protesters. Aside from the fact that they're also live firing on these motherfuckers, which is horrible. And we reach out to, of all people, China.
Well,
China,
that just
to protect
that
democracy.
just shows the facade that democracy truly is.
What the flying fuck, Just what the flying fuck?
We know China is doing forced organ transplants. They're doing concentration camps. They're doing genocide to the Uyghur Muslims.
But by all means,
prosecuting Christians, and not only that, they're trying to grab Taiwan and saying, "Hey, Taiwan's ours now."
But by all means, ask them to protect democracy, because that makes fucking sense. Are we really that ridiculous? Like, while everybody's over here talking about Neanderthals, we're actually expecting China to fucking to protect these people. Like, that's bullshit. That is some bullshit.
Give me 1 sec, guys. My thing that everyone went quiet for some reason. I don't know why my phone does this.
Okay.
I had a problem earlier too for some reason.
Yeah, I am kind of curious as to, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you say that. What were you gonna say?
I'm just kind of curious. The idea that internally we're thinking that a part of our country is Neanderthals, when we ourselves are actively supporting Neanderthals across the world.
Yeah.
It's just we're calling out Pacific people in this country, when outside this country we're not calling out what China's doing, we're not calling out what the EU's doing, we're not calling out what we're doing. We're support this is very fascinating that we're not calling out what's happening on Armenia and Azerbaijan. But we're like, oh, well, we're going to play both sides now, like we always have. And instead of calling out the people that we need to call out in certain parts of Iraq or in Israel, we saw Putin did it. Either Putin did it or it's Assad. And I'm like, these are not the Neanderthals you are looking for. To quote Star Wars, and I'm very fascinated how we sort of categorize who is what to us. In this country, internally, we are either for the state or against the state. So if you're against the state, no matter if you're on the left or right, so you can be far leftist, anti-fascist, whatever, or a book boy or a far right person. But if you're against the state, you're lumped in together because you're Neanderthal thinking. Now, if you go overseas, like there's some really far right governments that are coming into power, and we're not even noticing them. We're not. They're and the Netherlands had a far right party come into play. Austria, Marie Le Pen in France is coming on board. Turkey, Greece, Italy, the list goes on. These countries are falling for because the left is sort of like, in Germany, the AfD party. It's now illegal, unconstitutional to surveil them. So what did the far left party do? Oh, well, they're domestic terrorism. So they're calling a major political party in Germany domestic terrorism, similar to what we're doing here in this country. And yet, instead of going after just those people, those domestic terrorists, they're going to throw anarchists,
everybody under the bus with
it. And that, to me, is Neanderthal thinking. Not these Republican governors, not the Uyghur Muslims, not the people that we think are needing to be in charge of Myanmar, but the actual country called China. But it's laughable when we go in these distractions of saying, hey, these people are Neanderthals. You shouldn't really converse with them. They're stupid. They're not smart. They're ignorant. And I'm like, what do you think the U.S. military is doing over in Iraq?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, not to move on to the next fucking subject, but like, while we're over here arguing about green eggs and fucking ham, we're we're starting shit in Syria with Iraq, and Iraq has now actually bombed us back with missiles on our bases.
No, look.
The thing is, like,
Iran
we
attacked
shouldn't even
us.
be involved in this. I don't believe that we should be intervening in other people's shit, because every time we show up, we fuck some shit up anyways. Like, the United States government showing up to say, I'm here to help, should be the most terrifying thing that anybody hears. And
Reagan, and Ronald Reagan, out of all people, has said that before he got into office. He said there's frightening words to say, and I'm like, well, I appreciate that, President.
Sentiment.
You kind of ruined it, but still, it's just, I think one thing that I'm always, somewhat amused by is that there are entities, both on left and right, outside this country that are coming together. India is a prime example. France is a prime example. And so while we try to do that here in this country, we get called all sorts of names. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, we're not here to say, okay, I do disagree with a lot with Crete, but that's not why I'm here with them. That point's irrelevant. There's a bigger point, and that is that the state is deciding that Creep and I are on the same page.
Yeah,
I
never
want to know
forget
why.
that last week, the FBI director was in front of government on
That's right.
fucking TV and connected BLM, Antifa, Boogaloo Boys, right-wing militias, and Islamic terrorism all together.
All together.
All of us together. Put us all in the same little bubble.
Yep.
That shows you how they view us. That shows us how they think of us. They do not see color. They do not see political ideology. They don't see rural or urban. They don't see any of this shit. They see people that are complacent. They see people who are compliant, and they see people who are resisting. Mm-hmm. And they don't like the resistors. They don't care what you call yourself. They don't care what you believe.
Yeah, you think the attack in Iraq is sort of a wag the dog type of scenario?
Well, I just like it's crazy misuse of the military to me, because like
really
I come from a military family. I do have a lot of respect for the military as individuals, in a sense, if you catch what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that you should never deploy the military unless it's a situation where we're going to kill 90% of people involved. Everybody's going to fucking die. We're going to blow shit up, fuck shit up, kill, fucking shoot, blur, and whatever. And if the situation doesn't call for that, don't deploy the military.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't deploy, because the military is there to kill shit and fuck shit up. It is not there to build nations.
Actually, that's a Marines quote.
Yeah, it's not. You can't use the military to build countries. You can't use the military to police communities. You can't use the military for any of this shit. But we keep trying, and you see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending cycle.
Like there's the last time we deployed the military.
Countries, we get involved in other people's bullshit, and then they attack us, and we act like they're in the wrong.
How dare you build your country so close to my military bases? That's what it's like.
No, it's like the entire Middle East now is an American military base around Iran, basically.
Yeah.
The U.S. is more like, how dare you live in this place that you lived in for thousands of years? We're going to have to colonize you now.
Pretty much, man. And it's just insane to me. Of like the last time we deployed our military in a way that I thought was justified along the criteria I set out was like World War II. Ever since then, they've been trying to describe it as police actions and shit like that.
I can kind of excuse Korea because they literally asked us there and shit, and we didn't fuck up too much.
Did you know that
still
we're
fuck it up.
Okay, Korea's a little bit more of a
no, we're sending 36,000 more troops there now. It's under the radar.
The Korean War, not now.
Yeah.
Look, we're sending more troops there.
Was Korean War before or after World War II? I'm fucking.
It was
after. Immediately after.
I have not slept much. I haven't slept much, so I'm having a hard time putting things in order.
Well,
My
I'm just
chronological
it's
shit
World
goes
War
out the window.
World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, First Gulf, Bosnia, Second Gulf, and then after that is just the War on Terror.
Don't forget you forgot Panama.
Panama, Nicaragua, Colombia, all that's like a mixture in the 80s.
No, what Monkey Prince says in the chat is, honestly, I'd rather see our foot soldiers doing humanitarian efforts. Yeah, I agree, but not as the military.
No, I got
the military.
I got a point about that, Monkey. Okay. We're going into Venezuela now under humanitarian aid. We're going under in certain parts of Africa under humanitarian aid.
That's what I mean. We're going as the military. Send them as the Peace Corps. Don't send them with guns.
Look,
I don't even want to do that. But I'm saying, like, along that line of thinking, if you're deploying them as the military, they're not going to do anything humanitarian, even if they say they're doing humanitarian.
As long as it doesn't involve the UN. If it involves the UN, the UN's Peace Corps is one of the worst Peace Corps in the world.
Dude, they're so funny to where like people because I'm more involved with lefty Twitter now, and I love all these folks, but they see me posting about like literally putting blue helmets on my wall and shit because they don't know what the UN's like really about. Blue helmets, the only thing they're good for is either watching people get raped and murdered and do nothing about it, or actively raping and murdering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Haiti is a prime example. Haiti is a prime example.
Not just Haiti, too, like Africa. There's hundreds of stories of them just running around African villages in blue helmets, just fucking grabbing women out of buildings.
Yeah.
It's time that we get proactive, and I mean, like, if you want people to go fight in wars for causes that you believe in, volunteer and go fight in that war your goddamn self. You can do that.
That's partially where the whole.
Do it.
That's partially where the whole Hawaiian thing even comes from, is during the 90s, all the mercenaries that just went as like random people. And a lot of them wore Hawaiian shirts while they were overseas, and they would just fight for causes they believed in. And you're awesome guy that I talked to. I'm blanking on his name right now. I'll pull it up, but I have him on Twitter. He went over to Syria and fought with the YPG in like Rojava and shit. And like the Turkish government wants him. And why not more of that? Why send the military when there's tons of people that are like, yo, dude, I'll just go over there with a fucking shitty AK and a backpack and fight ISIS. It's like, sweet, dude.
I mean, who are we fighting now across? Who's the enemy now?
Well, they even released that article to where there's CIA-backed Islamic militias fighting DHS-backed Islamic militias. So, like, literally, our own intelligence
government is fighting each other. Basically. Yeah. Well, the DHS and the CIA are both unconstitutional, so I really don't care. But nevertheless, we're still fighting against ourselves in Iraq because Iran did something to us. So we might have bombed or attack Iraq. I just think this reminds me of when we were doing Al-Qaeda versus ISIS in Syria a few years ago. Remember that?
Josh Bailey is his name.
Bailey.
I'll drop his at Twitter. This dude's fucking awesome. He's probably like my favorite person on Twitter. I'll drop him in the YouTube chat.
I like that comment. After you Google, dude. They have to keep all conflicted because our dollar is backed by the foreign slavery rather than gold nowadays.
Yeah.
Yep. And one thing that even the American government doesn't really acknowledge, or if they do acknowledge, you're like, so what? That inflation might hit us more because we're stretched thin on foreign entities, foreign wars, and we're stretched thin domestically. We're not getting our paychecks from the Biden's administration's promise. And that's one thing I want Creep to talk about is, we've got broken promises, both domestic and foreign, that the troops are not going to come home. And that we're not getting what that the Biden campaign promised during the primaries.
Yeah. So let me get over here really quick. Okay. So basically, yeah. So the checks, that's the big story that's been talked about the most. But I think the bigger story is that the $15 minimum wage got voted down. Bernie was right in saying it could be done through budget reconciliation, but of course the Senate parliamentarian disagrees with him. But they don't really actually have to follow the Senate parliamentarian. Sorry, I just pronounced that really wrong. They're basically like guidelines or recommendations. Like you can take or leave their recommendation. And Biden and all these fucking people who voted down the $15 minimum wage being added to the bill that's for COVID relief were basically citing that. They're basically hiding behind this procedural bullshit, and saying, oh, well, the Senate parliamentarian says we can't do it, so we'll just have to wait later. And it's just like, no, you have to do it now, because if you don't do it now, basically you can't use budget reconciliation to get that amendment in there. You can't put that in the bill. The only way you would be able to do it now is you have to make a vote that's so strong it's immune to a filibuster, which is basically now you have to get a fucking bunch of Republicans on your side. You can't even just do it with a majority. And it's stupid because like almost everybody in this country at this point agrees that the minimum wage has not increased enough. To help people. Like you can't live on the minimum
Creep, you're
wage.
breaking up real bad.
Yeah, I can hear and understand you, but you're very quiet.
And so
Smash your table, fix it.
Down the line, Republican or Democrat, everybody basically agrees the minimum wage can be increased. Like the only places that don't really have a minimum wage are like Scandinavian countries like Norway and Sweden, but that's because they have a shit ton of unions and they basically have universally had collective bargaining. So basically they get way more than our minimum wage than anybody does. So basically, here are the fucking Democrats who are just hiding behind procedural bullshit and
Creep, before you read this list, try to fix.
Wait, hold on.
Breaking up.
Yeah, try and fix your
You're breaking
sound because you're really quiet.
Okay, hold up.
You're not really breaking up. It's just very quiet for some reason.
It's breaking up for me. It's really choppy.
I got it.
I mean, I can hear him, but it's almost tinny. Where if you were talking into a tin can.
My dumbass is wearing earbuds, and I'm leaning forward. Like that's gonna make me hear better.
Oh, by the way, Mike,
Just-
when Creep's done talking, I sent you a video on Twitter that perfectly backs up everything he's saying. I highly recommend playing it. I sent it your DMs and Twitter.
Yeah.
There, you're better
Okay, so yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Got it.
What are the Democrats that you have listed?
All right, so we got Chris Coons, Delaware, Angus King, and we got Senator Joe Manchin, or Joe Assmuster, as I like to call him, in West Virginia. Tom Carper, he's in Delaware. Jenny Shaheen, New Hampshire. John Tester, Montana. Magal, I cannot pronounce this person's name. Magol Hassan. Well, I can pronounce the last name. The first name is very weird. It's Maggle, Magol Hassan. Okay. Also New Hampshire. Kristen, and the last on the list, Kristen Cinema, the little fucking bitch who went like this and like did her little fucking hip sway as if she was like being like edgy or cute.
That's sexist. She's calling people to say that that's sexist.
Yeah, fuck her. Yeah, fuck her. Like, you know, the left, you know, she can fucking rot in hell. Like her and Joe Assmuncher especially. I fucking hate those assholes because they're the ones who like came out against it the strongest.
Look, I am totally against the minimum wage. So I'm against minimum wage.
But here's the thing. And I want Mike to play that video before I. Before I say this, but I have a very important thing to say about the minimum wage thing and kind of things in general that kind of apply to this. But once you play that, Mike.
All right, let's do this shit.
$2,000 stimulus check. A minimum wage of $15.
This is not kids being kept in cages.
Money that will go out the door immediately. No deportations in the first 100 days. Put an end to the block in Washington.
Deliver a bold, progressive vision.
$2,000.
I find that very creative. Whoever came up with that.
But my whole point though is like why this pisses me off, even as someone who might kind of be like iffy on the minimum wage thing, is I want people to have actual fucking representation. If Creep votes for somebody because he wants his interests represented and those people fucking lie to him, that makes me mad. It doesn't even matter if it's for something I disagree with. It's still wrong. Like I did a whole video about this of like an honest opponent is preferable to a dishonest ally. So when I see people being dishonest allies to other people, it pisses me off. So that's why, even as a libertarian, I'm vicariously upset for like leftists and shit because I'm watching them get fucked. It's like,
well, let's look at the Libertarian Party has screwed me over for a good number of years. So I kind of feel you on that, but I'm sort of like, if you really want people to have higher wages, there is something you can do easily, and that's don't tax them. Maybe
you're being taxed on your stimulus check, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Unemployment.
Look, when you let's just say you earn $15 an hour and you work 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, you're not getting $15 an hour. You're getting roughly $12.84 or something like that.
There's a point to that too, to where I always bring it up that Chicago made a like really big fucking horse and pony show out of the fact that they raised their minimum wage to $12 an hour or something when I lived there. But what didn't get reported in the news is literally the day after their minimum wage hike went into effect, they raised taxes. So essentially, your effective income after the tax raise was exactly the same as it was before they increased the minimum wage. I'm like, you sneaky motherfucker.
Well, for me, I'm always curious that how much money would people get back if they didn't pay taxes to things they didn't want at all? You know, what if I wanted public transportation? That's it.
If you want to know the big theft, it's really wage theft by corporations. They cut so many corners on fucking paying people, and of course, if you're not going to pay the full value of somebody's labor if you want to make a profit in the marketplace. Like that's not if you're paying the full value of somebody's labor, you're not going to be making a profit, you're going to be breaking even. And if you're just breaking even on everything, like what's the point? You're not making money. So you lose a lot more to wage theft by corporations than you would on taxes. But a lot of the reason people talk about taxes the most is because you can actually see what you're losing. You can physically see what you're losing on your tax returns or your paycheck. If you looked at your paycheck and saw how much your corporation was fucking you out of pay and just be like, oh, we reduced this for overhead, reduced this so the manager gets his cut, so the shareholders get their cut, and this and this and this and all this shit that doesn't even necessarily help the company, help the company be more productive or anything, just so a bunch of fucking investors can make their profit. Then you're losing a lot more on that than you are on taxes.
And to Creep's point too, and I think a lot of libertarians forget this, that a lot of corporations get away with being on top because they're directly subsidized by the fucking government. A lot of them are.
Yeah.
Walmart gets fucking subsidies and breaks. Google gets subsidies and breaks, and all this. This
And-
is how
and
they
no-
get McDonald's, like all the Coca-Cola.
Corporate welfare. Corporate welfare is not just
like that's
even in libertarian circles.
like
Monsanto,
that's how they get away with this shit. So like a lot of libertarians would hear something like what Creep just said, and they'll be like, "But the free market and blah blah blah," and it's like, but it's not a free market because these
that's why it's
are propped up by the government. They're not competing in the free market. You are. You the lowly scrub. You that owns mom and pop pizza shop on the corner. You're in the free market.
Nobody else is.
They're not.
That's why it's fuck the state, fuck the cathedral, not fuck the government. Like that's why it's fuck the state, not fuck the government.
Yeah, the state is a broader concept than just the
exactly. These corporations,
the state is deeper than that.
These corporations are backed by the state, and a lot of people are like, "Well, we want closed borders or we want open borders," and I'm like, if you allow private businesses or individuals decide, then you could have a better immigration policy. You could have a better wage policy. But the corporations decide who gets to stay, who gets to leave, who gets paid, and who doesn't get paid, because they have the money now from the state. The state says, well, we don't want the little guy to earn any money. And the only way we can do that is to make sure that we pump up all these corporations with relief, with tax breaks and corporate bailouts in the last, 20, 30 years now? I mean, I've heard of corporate bailouts even back in the 80s when there was a stock market crash. Reagan bailed out people at that time. You can go back decades. And it's something that not a whole lot of people, left, right, or libertarians, talk about enough.
Yeah. I'm so happy Being Libertarian shared my my rant about Google not being a private company, because it pissed some people off, but they don't realize that a lot of the people that are on top have like direct fucking nut to butt fucking connection with the government, and that's how they get away with this shit. And you will
they basically to me, they basically are the government to me in my frame of mind. It's the elite.
I said in that rant that like the only thing that like Google and what is it, like it's like Pfizer or something is the company that owns all of like the fast food restaurants. I forget what their name is, but like the only thing that separates them from the CIA is they don't have a 3-letter acronym. Yeah. Otherwise they're essentially a government fucking program.
Hey, maybe Creep and I can come up with a 3-letter acronym to get tax breaks like the corporations.
Right.
It's like why not? I mean, we're taxed too much. We're asked to not. We can't defend ourselves. And then when we do defend ourselves, we get brutal police attacks on us. And then lastly, we're promised, hey, if you did lockdowns for 2 weeks and you kept your distance and wore the mask and got the vaccines, don't worry, it's coming. These checks are coming. Where are the checks? Where are the checks? Where's the check?
Yeah.
I'm not even for the checks. I will decline a check. I want other people to get it because that's what they voted for. That's what they asked for. Where are the checks, Biden? Where's the checks, Harris? Oh, we can go down the list. Whenever Pelosi blocked something that Trump was trying to do, I don't know exactly when it was created, but it was like last November or last October. She blocked something to get back at Trump or something, and then she said some off-the-wall comment that should have really riled people up, but apparently they were so orange man bad they didn't look at Pelosi. So, well, that's what Pelosi's doing. It was a distraction, like we were talking early in the show. There's a lot of distractions going on to prevent us from getting together, from initializing a force for good within
holding them accountable.
Especially with the checks, like a lot of things that people are overlooking is, you notice, how are they doing the checks? They're doing it based off of your tax ID number. They aren't doing off of and that should give you an idea of where they're coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not doing it off of social security numbers. They're not doing it off of green cards. They're not doing it off of ID numbers. All of this, which they have access to. They can pull all this up. They're doing it off of tax ID, and they're not giving them to people who don't pay taxes. Why? Because they're going to get all that shit back They're going to come back. That stimulus you're getting, you're going to get hit up for the IRS for that later. I promise you. A lot of people don't realize that.
Exactly. And it's
come
like
next April, that fucking they're going to be
exactly. This April too. This April for those people that got that $1,200 check last year. Next month is going to be a hurtful month for some people. It's going to be a huge wake-up call.
That's considered fucking income, and income without wage.
Yeah.
Which is fucking what? The whole reason you're giving me that check, motherfucker, is because you closed my business down and I can't make a fucking income.
Yeah.
For me, it's one thing. It is to say, hey, we're shutting everybody down. We're going to give everyone checks. Great. Well, when I saw that, I haven't filed taxes in years. The IRS forgot about me, and I had to go and call a number and spend 8 hours, almost one day, just to get an appointment. And then I had to stand in line for 8 hours because it was social distance. So it was like, no, I'm done. I'm not. And I was eligible because I was a veteran, and the VA said you're eligible, and I'm like, I'm not going through the IRS because they don't think I exist. I have to show ID and proof of income and utility bill, and I'm like, no. If you're going to send me money as a veteran, as a person who fought for this country, I should be eligible immediately. I fought for this country.
And they could have done it through social security numbers. They could have done it through current government IDs. They could have done it through visas, green cards, all of which they have federal databases for.
Yeah.
The funny,
and you have Ted Cruz out there telling everybody that these checks and everything is going to go to the like illegal aliens and shit like that, and then other guys popping up and being like, dude, that's not even how it works. Like, it's funny because if the one way you wanted to guarantee money went to illegal aliens, it would be with tax ID, because a lot of illegal aliens pay fucking taxes.
Yeah.
How about that?
You were saying something, Creep, about something.
They pay taxes and they don't get any of the benefits.
Yeah.
So it's funny, even within that argument, if you were legitimately concerned about illegal aliens getting stimulus checks, then you would have done it based off of government ID, but that's not how you did it. So you're not fucking fooling anyone. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm on to your bullshit.
Even if you are here legally and you're not a citizen, you still have to pay taxes on your income, and you don't get representation, you don't get anything back, you don't get any
and this is one thing that's not mentioned is that some of these illegal immigrants or undocumented individuals, they're getting slaved to work for corporations for a low wage.
Yeah, and that's a really important point too. Yeah. I can back up. Is in Chicago, I saw tons of people get deported. You know who I never saw get deported? People that were working for corporations.
Yep.
I'm not saying there's a conspiracy there, but I know plenty of people that ran street carts, or they were in food trucks or whatever, and they got snatched by ICE, never to be seen again. But I knew 100 motherfuckers that worked at fucking McDonald's and Buffalo Wild Wings and fucking all these, and they never got a door knock.
That's not even a conspiracy, my man. It's literally
the reality of it.
Yeah,
it's just literally happening. Like you don't. There's really no hiding it. Like the corporations. They're especially like farmers and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah.
They get huge profits off of immigrant farmers, and they just pay them dirt fucking cheap.
I think the last one I saw was like $2.50 an hour or some shit. Look.
Yeah, it's how grocery stores are able to sell produce for so cheap. They can just fucking do that. Yeah, and the thing about the IRS that's funny is they got hit with this stupid scandal way back. I think it was either in the 80s or in the 90s, and it was the Republican Party, I think, that made the big stink about it. And they tried to say there was a bunch of corruption in the IRS, like they had made a bunch of allegations. There was a full investigation.
Oh yeah, I remember that because I was a kid, but I kind of vaguely remember
that happened twice, because that happened under Obama too.
Yeah.
So basically, nothing was found in the investigation, but there was so much controversy around it. Republicans were able to get bills that defunded the IRS and basically made it a zombie arm of the government, and like it's still kind of functioning, but it's not functioning enough to go after the corporations that are actually dodging their
Exactly.
It only goes after regular people and
it's
small
basically
time shit.
Notice that when the people when they say, "Oh, we're going to cut these things. We're going to cut the government that overreaches and fucks up your life." They actually cut the parts out where the government actually somewhat helps you, and then they just say and then they leave all the stuff where it fucks you over. So it's just like it's even worse. Like it's just like, no, we're just going to make sure the government is more callous and cruel to your ass. That's
the whole thing with happened with it's not natural resources. What is it? The EPA. The EPA is the most useless fucking government organization whatsoever because they cut out everything that may have actually like protected the environment, and now they're like protecting like BP and shit. To this day, they're still protecting BP over the oil spill.
Over 10 years
That's
ago,
the Environmental Protection Agency represented BP in an oil spill.
Founded by Richard Nixon of all people.
Technically, oil is environmental because it's natural.
It came out of the ocean.
It came out of the earth, so therefore it's environmental. We got to protect the environment. The oil is the environment because it's natural. It came out of the earth.
That's like one of my like biggest like anti-government red pills that I give to people. They're like without the government, how would we protect the environment? And I'm like, did you know that the EPA represented BP in the oil spill?
Well, there you go.
They covered up for them. They lied for them.
Or how about this? Is that we're protecting, basically military bases through the use of the Bureau of Land Management. We're stealing Indian lands and then turning it over to the military.
Yeah, the whole Bundy Ranch scandal.
Where it
was like, I was like, hey, we shot all these cows and arrested these men to protect these endangered tortoises, and then they went out and fucking speared all the tortoises and threw them in a pile.
Oh my god.
That's what Bundy Ranch was for. Remember that when they pulled rifles on those ranchers and fucking shot his son and did all of that shit, it was literally to protect an endangered species that they went and killed. The government.
I really like what Monkey Prince and Cody Havoc have said. Those two.
I want to kill the turtles. I don't understand. You know how I feel about turtles, Mike.
Yeah, look at what the BLM, obviously not Black Lives Matter, Bureau of Land Management, did to the endangered tortoise population.
You gotta be specific, because last time when Max wasn't specific fast enough, he got like so much hate.
It's not my fault that there's a
BLM. They're killing turtles for some reason now.
Yeah, those damn comment BLM.
I would like to basically wrap this episode up by saying
we can't wrap up yet because we have Swiss Magic segment.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
We haven't even touched on what's going on in Louisville this Friday.
Oh yeah.
So let's do.
I was trying to get us on track.
There's no fucking tracks on the anarchy train.
Let's do Swiss
I am
Magic
trying
segment, and then we'll talk about Louisville. And somebody passed me a thing that I wanted to just share real quick as like a hey, if you're in this area, please try and help out or whatever kind of thing.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Unicorn.
Yeah. So without further ado, I give you Swiss Magnus. They've merged. Oh dear God.
Our powers combined. We are the Wonder Twins.
Magnus Cuck. That's what.
Oh God. Here we go, y'all. Here we go.
I would love to be
Deco with a fucking intermission. Well, let me see. I'm just here in Basel in the frigging nowhere. Whatever. Not important. What pissed me off is that they put in that graffiti with the anarchist A, and then they say in German this value, like take value off. They sprayed it, they painted it on a house. Looks like I don't know. Is it a shigimigi house, like a good-looking one? Pretty standard. I don't know. And they say like take like this value that just destroy property, like for the big companies having real estate. I mean, there's no big company in Switzerland having property, so this does not make sense. It's just a breach of the NAP. Fuck the fake anarchists. Well, Deco here with the quick bulletin about this votes which happened in Switzerland because people voted on Sunday, and just giving you the brief results about the electronic ID, where companies can offer electronic ID to identify people over the internet. We smashed it down, so it's not gonna be a thing. About public viewing laws, like for example, if you're Antifa, you cannot view in public anymore. Like federal wise, not just some states have laws, so it's now a federal thing. As well as, for example, if you hide your face for religious reason, it's we voted yes on banning. And free trade with Indonesia, we voted yes on it, so we can now, and we will probably have trade agreements with Indonesia. So yeah, that's like quick news. Otherwise, we don't have any new things going on, so it's pretty quiet in Switzerland. Well, at least you can talk now about how at least the people in Switzerland have a say in, even if they're completely retarded by, like, one half is retarded and the other half is, I don't know, retarded in other ways. So basically it's a popular idiocracy. Go on and give your critics on it, whatever. Well, at least they voted no on EID, so, well, that's kind of a hope for me. Yeah, so be free, and it's almost 2 a.m. Fuck my life.
I love it.
Almost 2 a.m. Fuck my life.
The first part is like so cranky. He's such a he's like the old anarchist being like, kids, get the fuck out of my yard.
I just want to say that, you know, I appreciate doing free trade, but that's a kind of a weird country to trade with. From Switzerland, Indonesia.
Yeah, like I wonder what brought that on, and like I'm gonna have to actually look into that.
I mean, they're
like,
two different cultures, 2 different environments, 2 different societies, both in government and in the people there. So I'm just
if they both got resources that mutually aid each other, I mean, I don't see why not.
Well, I do know this, Crete. You know, Indonesians can now go snow skiing, and the Swiss can now go onto a tropical island. That's what it boils down to. But the first thing, I would have loved to have Tommy come back, because he made an interesting point about breaking the NAP. And I'm like, I don't know. But now, after that last conversation that we had this past Saturday, Mike, I'm like, if someone spray painted this symbol and why they don't like this building, is that breaking NAP? Because I'm looking at it from an economic standpoint.
It is if somebody lives in it. Now they're gonna have to fucking pay to fix it or keep that graffiti on their house. Like, that's a house.
But
yeah, I mean, it's kind of stupid to just do it on somebody's random house. It's like, who?
Especially
why?
when, like, they're trying to make a point, except it's not it's not accurate, which makes it even more wasteful.
Now, if that particular house just so happened to be a house of like a white supremacist or something, it's just like, okay, sure, whatever. But I mean, I don't think that was the case.
No, and what I can gather from what Deco said is that there's a possibility that this house belongs to a corporation.
No, he said that they don't have that kind of setup.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't make any sense that it was there in the first place.
I think just someone just got the information wrong, and maybe they were pissed off, and it's like, well, this may be the house. I don't know, but I'm tagging it anyway. And, you know, one thing that Deco didn't mention, and I'm surprised he didn't mention this, Mike, that not France, either Denmark or Belgium, one of those two, they're implementing not only a what's it called, a niqab ban, a niqab that covers a young woman, a Muslim woman's head and face. They're also banning the burqa, which covers the entire face but the eyes. So there's a huge swell of getting the burqa banned in France, Belgium, Denmark, maybe Germany, and a few other places that are mentioning it in law. Austria and Hungary, Poland is another one, Czech Republic. It's a huge swell of banning masks, but not the face masks, medical masks, but they're banning religious masks because the government, unaware that, hey, if you import a lot of people at once from different backgrounds without assimilating them, they're kind of going to do a few things that you don't like them to do. The government didn't think about that. So now instead of either deporting them, assimilating them, or trying to create a different society, they're just going to put a Band-Aid on something. We'll just ban the mask. We'll just ban the headscarf. We'll just ban the burqa. I'm like, you're not getting to the root of the problem. You're banning a religious covering, but they're going to still, now you're gonna anger them more. You're gonna make more violence in your country. I'm sort of confounded that the leaders of the EU didn't see this coming. And they could have prevented it, 20 years ago. But hey, whatever. Deco didn't come up with that. He just said the ID law was voted down, which is great. But in the UK, what they're doing now, instead of voting down the ID law, they're having vaccination passports. So if you don't get vaccinated, you can't go out to a club or a pub or your favorite venue or overseas. Now, here's the thing. In the EU, people in the UN are talking about, oh, you need to get vaccinated every 2 years, and you need to renew that vaccination passport every 2 years. So that's something that I think Deco kind of glossed over, and it's not his fault. It's just that a lot of EU leaders are not talking about it, but it's sort of like a bad secret. It's an open secret. And so that's one thing that's really, to me, it's really coming over here. Canada is now talking about a vaccination passport. Several states are talking about a vaccination passport. And this goes along with a digital electronic ID to not only know where you're going, who you're with, what you buy, and where you at for an amount of time. The UK has now had, this is so weird. They have cameras now to tell you how far outbound you are from another district or neighborhood. And if you're not part of that district or neighborhood, you might be COVID, you might have a COVID type of carrier. And so you're going to be arrested if you go too far from your neighborhood or if you stray in another neighborhood directly. So it's just, one world passport. This is crazy, but Alex Jones was right on this point.
Bill Gates fucking recently invested into a company that does fucking biometric scanning from afar.
Yeah.
And they're talking about using that along the lines of vaccine trackers and shit like this. Like they're open with it. They're wide open what they want to do.
Because nobody's paying attention.
That's what people get fucked up about. Is what they do is they take legitimate causes and piggyback off of it to achieve their fascist goals. So like you can be pro-vaccine, you can be pro-lockdown, you can be super afraid of COVID. Doesn't matter. You have to acknowledge that these motherfuckers are trying to do shady shit off the back of it.
Yeah.
With your money,
We've talked
more
about
often
that
than
a
not. With your money.
times since it started too. Like almost every time it comes up, we've talked about how no matter what you fucking believe, they're still using this to dick us all over with.
Yeah, because like I don't want neo-Nazis running around fucking up black people, but I don't want the FBI having a bunch of power over me to solve that problem. I don't want Islamic terrorists blowing up fucking people, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want.
That's some of the random comment. I like that.
Yeah, I don't want I don't want Islamic terrorists blowing up random people, but at the same time, I don't want to go to war in Iraq over it. Like they take legitimate issues and they piggyback off of them to do fucking horrible things.
Oh, that reminds me.
No tragedy go to waste.
That reminds me, Magnus, that I heard on the Kim Iverson podcast or another podcast, maybe Dave Jackson, some progressive podcaster talked about how the Iraqi populace, not the army, not the government, the populace are now attacking American troops to get them out of there, there. And one thing that's not talked about is that there's going to be blowback. And this is talked about, 20 years ago, there was going to be blowback once we entered Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, the blowback is not going to hit us with, planes hitting in the towers. What the blowback is going to do is that it's going to weaken our own selves domestically, because we're so stretched thin that we can't defend ourselves from corporate surveillance. We can't defend ourselves from corporate censorship. We can't defend ourselves from corporate tracking and vaccination passports. All this is government funded. It's the infrastructure is already set in place. So the government, while they're screwing around with bailouts for Wall Street and military affairs, they don't even know. The current administration, the Biden administration, they don't even know what the left hand is doing to the right. They don't know. Like
They do know. They do know. They're all in on it together.
Biden does not know what's going on. The White House is having different opinions. With
Right. That doesn't absolve them of it. But I do agree that I think they're figureheads. I think their hands are in the fucking wheel. I think the fucking intelligence agencies and the military industrial complex are fucking piloting the ship, and Biden's just up there to just fucking run his mouth. I made a whole video. I made a whole video where I don't even think Kamala or Biden were debriefed on that strike in Syria.
They weren't.
It happened.
It just happened, and only that
they post hoc justified it because that's their job.
Yep.
But
it's like it's not even being briefed. It's that Biden's not even doing a State of the Union. He's not doing public sort of speeches that Trump would do or Obama would do. I remember when State of the Unions were interesting and something to hear, but now it's like, why do we even need a figurehead president? Why bother if you're not going to have it? Leave me alone. Let me do my life. It's just crazy. But one thing that's happening is that because government is so inept at the top levels, you now have corporations swooping in and doing a minority report type scenario, this Black Mirror scenario of this corporate fascism that we have now.
Yeah, and speaking of the virus, someone pointed out in the chat, part of the COVID relief money went to funding the lab in Wuhan.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's
so
weird.
It's just really interesting to all these pieces are coming together, and after a year of this happening, we're not going back to what we had before the pandemic. No,
this is the new normal.
This is the new normal.
Kip points it out. That's why they're funding the cops right now. That's why there's a bunch of National Guard in DC.
Well, yeah, that's why they won't defund the cops.
They're fucking terrified right now because they see that people like me and Creep are talking, and that we just had a joint event in Georgia with Black fucking Panthers, Boogaloo Boys and Black Panthers together.
Yeah,
we're going to Louisville this Saturday, and there's going to be Redneck Revolt, John Brown Gun Club, Black Panthers, Boogaloo Boys, all marching together. They're fucking horrified.
Fuck yeah.
They're fucking horrified of this.
Oh yeah.
Which is why they keep trying to smear me, which is so funny because I'm
you're the coolest dude.
Obsessed.
You are the coolest dude.
My entire politics is don't be an asshole.
Just remember, everything you're doing is an act. Don't get confused. It's all just an act, apparently.
And for me,
not Georgia, South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah.
I'm buzzed. I'm on number 4 of my luau beers. So,
before you get too deep in your luau beer, do you want to talk about Louisville and shit?
Okay, yeah. So it's a Justice for Breonna Taylor event. Essentially, the entire point of the event, ironically enough, is we're not going to shut up about it. That's the whole reason the event's going on. That's the whole, all the flyers and everything is we're still here. We're still mad about it. We don't give a fuck that a Biden got elected. There's still injustice and it never got addressed, and we're going to show up. And they've already had multiple events that have happened, including the one I was talking about where the cop was literally facing down protesters and ready to fuck shit up. And that was just a couple dozen people. And there's expected to be huge turnout in Louisville. And it might be Like I know Garrett Foster's memorial was like 22, and then the Unity event was like, I think we were like 40 of us. There might be more of us in Louisville. And that's not counting the Black Panthers that are going to be there. That's not counting that, like, you know, the People's Guard and other like anti-fascist gun groups that are going to be there. It's going to be a big event. And I actually think shout out to him. I won't drop his name for his safety, but some guy actually paid my bills to make sure that I could go. So big props to him. I'm super happy for that.
Yeah.
And I'm driving down there, and I'm bringing, like, there's like 8 of us from Michigan that are going. There's a bunch of people from Ohio that are going. There's people from Indiana, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, all driving to Louisville. And it's kind of.
I wish we could make it up there too to help you guys, just to make it bigger.
And the whole point of it is, like, we're not done. I don't give a fuck. That's why I don't cry about Biden or even care about Biden, because I don't give a fuck who's in the White House. Like, more important things are going on. And what's local is always going to be more important than whatever the fuck is going on in DC.
And that's one thing I would love more people to do is they're focusing so much on a few issues that are not relevant to their locality. And it's just really, I am at the point to where I'm just using the hashtag national divorce, hashtag voting is violence.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing now.
And I probably will go back and clip this, but just to let everybody know, for the smear piece that came out in the Daily Beast, I cannot tell you how many people have hit me up in the last week that told me that they're going to go to Louisville because the whole reason that they joined the Boogaloo, the far right white supremacist organization, is because of Bree. That's why they joined this movement, is because of Breonna Taylor, and that's why they're driving all the way to fucking Louisville to protest for her, is for Breonna Taylor. That tells you what the Boogaloo is. That tells you what the Boogaloo is about. That's why my ass is driving all the way from fucking Michigan to Louisville, is because that's where this shit started, was Duncan and Breonna together. Both of those events. Not one or the other, both of those events.
Say their fucking names.
And they're scared. And it's funny too, because the Black Panther guys from South Carolina hit me up on Twitter. You know what they did the day after that Unity event? They started petitioning to ban open and carrying in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Interesting. That reminds me of when what the Black Panthers and when they stormed the Capitol. I remember reading that.
Shit. They've had 3%ers. They've had all these motherfuckers stomp around South Carolina and never had a problem. But the moment a bunch of white boys and a bunch of Black Panthers started marching together and not having beef with each other,
not
That's
allowed.
a problem to them. It's
not
scary.
allowed.
Yeah, and one thing there was another.
Keep doing it.
There was one thing I saw a report on RT, is that there's a huge uptick of black gun ownership in Chicago. Did you read about that?
Yeah. And they can't control it. And guess what? But my favorite part of that, some of those motherfuckers are 3D printing those guns.
Oh yeah, it did mention that in the article.
It makes it makes me, like, no image makes me happier than like some blood motherfucker, like some gangbanger motherfucker in Southside Chicago in some blown out fucking building in goddamn goddamn Chirac, sitting there on a 3D printer printing a firearm to protect his family. That shit gets me in my America right there. That hits me right in my liberty. I love that.
Well, I'm curious. There was a movement for 3D printed guns with Cody Wilson, but it kind of died after he got hounded by the feds.
It's still going under Ivan, and it's still going under Control Pew.
Yeah, with Control Pew and Ivan and all of those.
There's
so many people out there pushing this information, this education, this understanding of it. It's not just Ivan and Control Pew either, but like they are pushing hard.
Someone said Million Mass March. So
honestly, to be honest, we actually had Ivan on the show a little while back, and if you guys are curious about who the fuck that is, because you don't know who we're talking about, get back there and watch that episode.
That crazy motherfucker made a homemade grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
He 3D printed a homemade grenade launcher.
Did he actually show the video of how he made it?
Well, he didn't die, so it must have worked.
Okay,
out.
well, if he didn't die, then it works.
I mean, yeah, because that They don't call him no hands for no reason.
But no, yeah, it's funny, you know. I wish our Swiss boy was on here, but I think the most unreported story of the last 3 years is if you won't see it talked about on any of like the big channels, but if you look for it, you will find a bunch of stories across Europe of them having problems with people 3D printing firearms.
3D printing firearms, yes.
Like they've lost control.
There's a huge rise.
The gun control capital of the world, which is Western Europe, is struggling
have
to
gun
control. They're losing it.
What's interesting though, the only place in Europe that has control of 3D printed guns has the biggest knife problem in the Western Europe, and that's the UK.
Yeah, the UK that's a cultural thing. But if you look
it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, if you look at Germany, you look at Spain, you look at France. If you Google any of these, just say France 3D printed guns, you will find article upon article.
Wow.
Just constantly stumbling on 3D printed guns. They don't know what to do about it. They're begging their government to step in, and there's too late. Like the ship's fucking sailed.
That's pretty cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, because it makes sense. Because like, there's why would only Americans be 3D printing guns? You know, why only us?
Yeah.
There's no reason for it just to be us. So of course.
Oh, this gives me an idea. We can send 3D printed guns to Venezuela.
Yeah, send 3D printed
Cuba.
guns. Everybody. Teach
Venezuela, Cuba,
allegedly.
Because speaking
in Minecraft.
Because speaking of this mask, when I got involved with the anonymous movement during the Arab Spring, where we were teaching people how to set up, you know, private networks and shit, when the government were shutting off their internet. Do the same thing with guns. Teach people how to make guns.
Teach people how to grow food, make guns, use the internet.
Yeah.
Grow food, make guns, make your own internet. Don't use them. We don't fucking need them. It's bullshit.
We got our own economy. We got our own market. We've got our own materials.
Counter economics, counter culture, counter government, counter fucking everything. Fuck your mayor. Elect your own illegal mayor, and then run your community with your own illegal mayor. Fuck that. Fuck them.
I'm gonna 3D print my mayor.
3D print my mayor.
Well, I mean, we are 3D printing meat now. Who knows?
Well, no, it's organs now, then meat. We got to 3D. If we're going to 3D print organs of meat,
I really hope they figure out a way to figure out like 3D print meat or whatever. Because like, goddamn, like the farming industry is doing so much dumb.
Oh yeah.
shit.
No, yeah, and
if we don't get our shit together on environmental shit, like. It's not going. Nothing else is going to matter, guys.
That's where I started was environmental shit. And even though I come at it from a more libertarian perspective, people don't understand that like we need to do some shit about this because it's bad.
Well, yeah, there's a reason why I can't fucking digest the shit that they make, and it's not because I don't have a gallbladder. The reason why, I mean, like I don't have a gallbladder, but like that helps me to digest things that I'm not technically supposed to be eating. When
gold and black mass, someone's talking about
I can't
gold
even
and black
eat
mass?
the meat.
Yeah,
I can't eat the meat anymore, and it's not because I'm a hipster. It's because it literally makes you sick.
Dude, this thing in the camera. Sorry, I'm derailing, but look at this fucking thing, dude. This is like a trophy in a video game.
People have been asking where you got the black and gold one.
If you go on Amazon, actually, this entire. No, I'm sorry. It's how it's got to be. If you go on Amazon, this entire kit, all 4 of these masks, the silver one, the gold one, the white one, and the black one. They all come for $12.
Now, I'm curious.
All come together $12.
There's 2 questions I have. A, you're an artist. Can you make that type of mask? And B, if you can make that type of mask, can you 3D print said
Who's
mask?
got a CAD for the mask?
It'd be more fragile. It'd actually be better to cast it, which I could do if I got the materials for. I forgot to tell you, Mike. I looked into it. It's actually only $200 for a screen printer. I might just start making our own merch for us. Like fuck Teespring, fuck all of these fucking corporations. I might literally in that next to my bed have a screen printer and just take Sasha's memes, take your memes, everything, and just start making our own shit.
Yeah, we're going to 3D print memes and create NFTs.
Screen printers are really cool. One of my adopted brothers has his whole garage set up for that. It's
I might start doing that because I don't know if anybody knows, but literally like I don't even have an apartment. I have like a fucking studio pretty much. Like this is all art shit.
Kind of nice. Speaking of doing local things and helping people out, Somebody passed me this earlier. It was Sasha. They're pretty cool.
She's actually
they
in the
sent me
chat.
this.
I love you, Sasha.
Yeah,
You're the best.
we love you, Sasha. And I just wanted to read it out real quick. The Tenacious Unicorn Ranch is under attack by local bigots and militia. They have threatened violence publicly to us and those that help or associate with us. They have encroached on our property, armed at night with the intent to harm those of us who live here. We need help. We are not a militia. We are trans folk providing a safe haven for the queer community on an alpaca ranch. This threat has stripped us of our ability to work off ranch and to go about our lives. Financial aid will be used for our security needs, also to ensure our animals and residents are okay. This appalling show of bigoted violence. Volunteers are always appreciated to help keep everyone safe as we put security measures in place. We could not be a haven for trans folk without the love of our community. Thank you all for your support and solidarity in this most trying time.
So this is in Colorado. I do know that there's
Colorado.
a group of Colorado Boogaloo Boys that operate out of Denver. I don't have contact with them anymore. I know what the fuck was his name? God, he got infamously rolled by fucking like M-Raps at his house and shit. He was a cool Boogaloo.
Oh yeah.
I forget his name, but I know there's Colorado Boogaloo Boys. If you guys want to step up for this, like they're literally offering to pay you. So, you know, like moral shit aside, even if you just need a fucking job. I know
if
you
you're
have
just
guns.
one person out there that wants to travel, fucking hit us up and we'll try and help get you connected.
Yeah, because they're literally offering to pay people to do armed security for them, and it's a good cause. It's a good fucking thing. Like, I don't know the details of the situation. I don't know if
And
it's.
you see their Twitter here. You guys can get on there and find them too.
I wish I was in Colorado, because I would go fuck up some Nazis for free.
I know you would.
You know what I would be doing if I was in that area. I was like, all right, we're going to fucking just descend on wherever the fuck these guys make their home and just fuck this shit up right now. Like, it's not going to be just security. This is going to be a fucking war, baby.
Right. And I'll be as, again, like me, you know, being the understanding, annoying Unity guy. Maybe the threat is exaggerated. Maybe they're just really scared and they're blowing it out of proportion, whatever. It's still worth it. It's still worth to show it up and give these people peace of mind.
I mean, if it is exaggerated, then you make people feel better.
Yeah, if it's exaggerated, then you stand around and nothing happens and you make them feel better. There's no downside. Like, help these people out, please.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being down out there.
Like I said, hit them up on Twitter.
On Twitter.
I could possibly hit them up on Twitter and try to get.
You know, they're the one that handed it to me. I'm sure they know something.
Right. I could possibly like hit them up on Twitter and try to get like a phone number or something for people to go out there. Like I said, like they're literally offering to pay people. It probably won't be a lot. Yeah. You're not going to get fucking rich off of doing this or whatever. But like it's worth it.
Why would you attack people just trying to have an alpaca farm? Jesus Christ.
Alpacas are some of the most
Tim can't get on the Twitter,
creatures.
so Tim, you hit us up outside of here, not on the Twitter.
I think I have your number. I think I have your number, Tim, just because you're homies with my dad. I don't know. Shoot me.
That is so weird to say that.
No, yeah. I mean, Michigan's the smallest big state in the country, bro. We all know each other here. We all know each other in Michigan.
It sure does fucking seem like it. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
well, tell your governor that she shouldn't run again.
She's having her own Cuomo scandal because
or tell her she should run for real, like away if she
run away. Yeah.
Austin, Austin Getenya. You're also from Michigan, aren't you? I'm pretty sure. I recognize that last name.
Just dox people, dude. Why don't you?
Dox everybody.
Dude, good luck finding anybody in Michigan. I fucking challenge you.
The Twitter it's Tenacious Ranch. It's Tenacious Ranch at Tenacious Ranch.
Like I said, I'd love to get some support for these people because, like,
yeah, me too.
They obviously seem like something happened that perturbed the fuck out of them. So,
yeah, it's obvious that they are in distress. And that's really all that matters. You don't have to go there and open up fire on anything that fucking moves. Just go make these people feel safe, because you know that's what we do for each other. We're most of us watching this right now. We're the free folk. We have to fucking
once again, that's also big Michigan energy. Like other states, Boogaloo boys will be like, man, I don't know, dude. Don't show my face. Don't tell people.
Yeah,
my
and
real
he's
name.
like, I don't give a fuck. Dox
Michigan
me.
motherfuckers like me were like, here's my face, here's my home address. Come fucking get some.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm kind of like that too, but I don't really know if I could fucking hide. I'm probably the shortest, bluest person in Arkansas.
Dude, I can't even hide this beard under a mask, bro. Like, tell me if you saw this walk up at a protest, you know this ass would be me.
Well, I've given up trying to hide at this point. Like,
you know it's me just for this.
Right? Like, I wear an anonymous mask sometimes, but there are like so many photos of me wearing it like on the side of my head and looking at the camera and stuff that it doesn't even matter. And like, I've given up. Like, I'll wear my freaking Aloha shirt just like casually out to eat and shit like that. Like, it causes conversation sometimes.
Well, I'm
and
always
it's
telling
worth it.
everybody about crypto and how you can avoid taxes. So I guess I'm sort of like trying to get everyone not to pay their taxes.
Yeah,
See, I'm like the opposite of you. You're too big to hide, but I'm like 4'11", and so like there's no one else like me in any of these like activist circles or anything like that. If I'm lucky, I might get confused for a child.
Tim, you're right. You're right though, because you mentioned it must be a Michigan thing. So is the unity idea, because I talked to Thaddeus Russell. He's like a semi-famous author.
Yeah, I know who he is.
I talked to another guy that he's from Texas, and he's running for Green Party essentially. And we both talked, and we were both like, "Yeah, I'm totally down with the unity idea. I want to work with everybody." Blah blah blah. Oh, by the way, I lived in Michigan, and it's like something's in the water here. Where like we just hate the government so much that we'll work with anybody who also hates the government. Like we just don't give
Except
a
for
fuck.
Nazis.
Well, that's the thing. The Nazis don't hate government; they just hate this government.
Yeah,
they want their own version of government. Just like
honestly, talking about like unity and getting out there and bringing people together, I should have you and Caboose come back on for a side episode and talk about this shit again. Because
I would love to get Max on. I would love to get somebody UPG on, and then
let's work this out. Maybe we can get this to happen, because I would love to do a table of another unity table, but one that was even more broad than the last time.
Yeah, because I actually want to get like the people on the other side that aren't just like Boog people that we've been working with, because it's been crazy how fast this has been growing.
I guess I'm not necessarily a Boog person. I'm a Boog apologist.
Boog apologist.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft, yeah. I'm like,
we had a panel with my buddy from the Free Assange people, Franco, that it was me, more like a mutualist person, and then we had Reed, I forgot his last name, but Reed from the Natural Capitalist.
Reed Coverdale.
Yeah, Reed Cover. He's
okay, Reed. And then Reed needs to get on this show. Reed needs to get on this show.
And then we had I think his name was like the Natural Mantis or something like that. He is a communist. So it was me, Franco, Reed, and a communist, and we were all talking about guns. And then literally like in that conversation, we're like, so in a metaphorical event, how would we oppose the government? And I'm like, in Minecraft. Make sure you say in Minecraft. So literally I had a Bernie Sanders leftist and a communists using the in Minecraft meme. I was like,
that's awesome. We did
Let's cross-pollinate.
You did it great. We're now in unity in Minecraft.
Yeah, that was super cool too, because you literally had like the entire like
dogs and cats are sleeping together.
Mass hysteria.
Hysteria.
Yeah, because we had like the whole revolutionary political spectrum on one show talking about how like why we all believe we need guns. It was great.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was real great.
I love that.
We got into the weeds about fucking reparations for a little while. That was sad. It kind of got derailed into that, and the whole time I'm like, I don't have a fucking opinion, bro. I'm just here to talk about guns. But it was cool.
I'm just here for the guns, y'all.
Well, if we're gonna have reparations, one of the first reparations I would like is to give every single person, woman, man, child, a gun that the government stole. That the government stole from them when they first introduced the Second Amendment, because they're really infringing on our rights. And I'm like, it's a natural right for me to have a gun and to have health, happiness, and was it liberty?
You want to talk about
if they don't
immediate
want that
reparation?
gun, then let them fucking, trade it for something they do want.
You want to talk about immediate reparations? How about the government give everybody a fucking house that lost their house in an 2008 financial collapse?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
How about that?
Nick Wildstar, who's being given shit by the courts now in California, wants to. He's a libertarian. He's a libertarian candidate for governor and wants to fucking 3D print houses for the homeless. Why can't we do that for everybody?
Hey, that's something that I would love to see, like a unity campaign of 3D printed houses for the homeless.
That's the thing.
I got it.
Sorry, great.
I got it. Oh, sorry. Who was going?
No, you creep. Go creep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want, my version of reparations is abolish the housing market, let everybody just have a fucking house, and then not have the gun of fucking poverty to their head when they just want to fucking work on whatever the fuck their passion is. I mean, you want freedom. Give people freedom to work in any way they want, or if they just want to sit on the couch and watch Dog the Bounty Hunter that all day, fuck it, they can do that too. Don't hold the gun of poverty to their head to make them slave away in your fucking factory.
That's the thing is you don't even have to get like socialistic about it or anything. The fact of the matter is the government holds several properties in foreclosure that
and they could just give those to us.
Especially in Detroit, there's literally enough abandoned houses in Detroit that the government is just sitting on that they'll never fucking sell. That they could probably house the whole goddamn homeless population. And sure, maybe it'll go to shit and there'll be some fucking Mad Max fucking wasteland or whatever, but okay. It's not your problem.
Yeah.
Again, make it like the reservation. Make it like the reservation if you need to, like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if a lot of problems in this country would be solved if people just had a place to live and they didn't have the gun of poverty to their head to force them into these working conditions that are exploitive. Yeah, people could choose where they fucking work and choose the conditions that they work under.
Yeah, because I've long argued that like there should be no property taxes. If a black family of 7 saves up enough money to buy that house, it should be their house for fucking ever, and nobody should be able to take it from them.
Property tax is basically saying that you're saying to the government, please don't hurt me. That's basically it. Don't hurt me.
That's why I argued forever that you want to fix Detroit. You want Detroit to become Detroit again. No property taxes for 20 years. Motherfuckers, and I'll be even more specific so it doesn't get bought up by a bunch of slumlords. Local people in the community are the only people that are allowed to buy them. I swear to God, you will see fucking legit home ownership and people buying fucking houses and just sitting on those houses for generations and the government not be able to fucking touch it. Because that's the thing is like a lot of people like are getting fucked out by this forever. Just like, exactly like Creep said, to where there's people that before in this country, as soon as you owned a house, like you were good. Like as long as you made enough money to feed yourself, you had no worries. You could pay.
Now we have to stay in the fucking rat race though, because they want us slaving to the end of our fucking lives, or they'll take our homes from us.
There was literally communities
Even
where
if we own it.
Like mom just made some like homemade fucking clothing and they went to the market once a month and they sold that and that was enough to pay like their utilities and food, and then they would just chill on their house. Where now you have to pay forever. Forever.
Yeah.
Forever, consistently. It's one of the things that drives me nuts, and why, there are so many people out there who would love to be like more nomadic, or they would like to move to a different place where their community is something that is appropriate for them or whatever. And they can't do that because they are held under the thumb of this fucking rat race, white market bullshit game.
And that's why it pisses me so off with the unity movement, because these fucking libertarians and these fucking people that don't want to work together on the left don't even realize that like we can get to like step 3 of freedom from these motherfuckers, and we both agree on like the ways to get there, and then we can maybe fight after
just
that.
Leave each other alone. Like, what's the point? Why would we need to fight?
They don't realize that like actual Marxism, not neoliberal shit, and then like libertarianism, it's a tree.
Well,
it's a tree that like has the same roots and goes up for a decent while of the trunk and then splits into different solutions.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Marx, but that doesn't.
Well, you know what I mean, like Marxism in the terms of like like all these words are fucking loaded.
like, don't use
Communism,
Marx.
Marxism, fucking pick whatever.
Like, we're too liberty centric. At least go as far down the rabbit hole as Kropotkin.
Okay, Kropotkin, Bookchin, like all of the, like,
yeah.
But I just use Marx as like a bubble for like bottom left wing.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first forms of libertarianism was libertarian socialism.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it all fucking kind of branches off from that.
And once they realize that, then like it's crazy because I think if we get to that 60% of the shit we agree upon, so many problems will be solved that like the other 40% might not even exist. Like we don't know. Like maybe enough problems get solved on just doing what we agree upon that there wouldn't be a fight afterwards to even fucking have, because everything would be chill to a degree. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an optimist. But
I don't know. Maybe I am too. But I really think that makes the most sense to me. And I think that makes the most sense to a lot of people too.
The people that get it.
Yeah. We're creeping up there on 2.5 hours. So do any of you guys have anything else that you would like to say?
Yes,
anything you'd like to
I
shill
do.
Or anything like that?
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yep, I'm happy.
I guess my closing statement. I want to ask Crepe this because I've seen it been going around. Give me like your quick 2-minute top answer. What is going on with left-wing Twitter right now, where there's people that are advocating raising taxes on alcohol so poorer people can't drink booze? What the fuck is?
I have not heard of this at all.
Even left-wing people that I know are like, why the fuck where is this coming from? Because it was trending. It was trending among leftist Twitter of implementing an alcohol tax.
Leftist Twitter is there's two parts of leftist Twitter. There's the leftist Twitter that I totally can agree with and love.
This came out of psycho leftist
and then
Twitter,
there's
not the
the
cool
psycho
leftist
Twitter that are clearly also fascists.
See, I don't know Twitter very well. Most of my friends are banned from Twitter.
That's what I said.
Talking shit to cops.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to see if you knew about it.
Shot. So
because there was a post from Hammer and Sickle in the profile, super lefty. I got 100,000 fucking reactions or whatever, where it was we should implement a tax on alcohol so the poor people can't drink. It will be
that sounds like the fucking Nazgul shit. Those are like the fucking
Nazgul. Oh my god.
Those are fucking fascists that use a communist symbolism and they're just actually fucking white supremacists.
Yeah, they believe in communist versions of economies, but are super socially conservative.
Yeah, it's
God, yeah, I hate that.
That is some wacky ass shit.
I hate that so fucking much.
So that's my closing statement.
Yeah.
What the fuck, guys?
Fuck Nazguls. I mean, I think everybody can agree that Nazguls are the most hated people ever.
Yeah, whenever you say WTF, I say buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well,
how about
thank
you,
you
Mike?
guys for definitely use crypto, use gold, make trades. If you have to use cold cash, but fuck the government and their fucking hand in our fucking pockets, no matter whose fucking pocket it is.
Guys, I'm making Fauci happy. I have 4 masks on.
Finally. And
I'm very approved.
Yeah, and one thing. One thing I wanted to say, I guess, before we closed out, I just kind of wanted to go into why I was off for 2 weeks. All right. So basically, the reason I was gone for 2 weeks, guys, was I was doing mutual aid in Pacific Beach, and apparently some cops decided to they were rolling up on some of my comrades. 2 other ones I know of got the same treatment, and we weren't doing anything wrong. We were just doing some mutual aid for houseless folk. But the cops, since Pacific Beach happened, have been going crazy and trying to catch people, catch people who did like felonies and stuff or something like that, I guess. I don't know what they're actually saying, because when they basically detain people, including me, when we were doing nothing wrong at the moment. And you know, they literally put me in cuffs, put me in the back of the car and got my ID and shit. So I was wondering if they were trying to pin some shit on me and take me away. Now, it's been 3 weeks since the fact, so I figured if they wanted my ass, they would have come and got my ass by now. They know where I live. They ain't going to wait for me to come to San Diego. So that's why I kind of came back out of hiding. But yeah, it was a very I also just needed to kind of clear my head and like kind of try to relax a bit, because honestly, like that 2 weeks of just kind of waiting and seeing if something bad was going to happen, where these fuckers busted down my door over something, was some of the most stressful weeks of my life, because like, you know, I was just like, my
Dude,
God,
I was stressed too. I was worried about you.
I was just sitting there and like, and you know, I've come to realize I have like very, very minor forms of PTSD at this point, because like there was a point when I was hearing where I heard a police siren kind of near my house, and I'm like, oh God, police never come here. What the hell? And it never came by, but I kept, and like, but I just, after the fact of hearing it, I kept hearing it in the back of my head, thinking it was still near. I just kept hearing it. I literally had to leave my house, get in my car, and drive around my fucking neighborhood, like, to make sure to convince myself I wasn't crazy. But and even as I was doing it, I was still hearing it in the back of my head, very softly, like it's like literal auditory, like fucking hallucination, kind of like not like a very strong one, but I knew what was going on. Like I like, you know, I was still sane enough. Like I was still sane enough to know that I'm kind of insane right now. Like, and it's just, that's basically why I was gone for 2 weeks. Cause I was just kind of preparing for the worst, and thankfully the worst did not happen. But yeah, you know, if you're, I think, I guess what I just want to say is, if you're out there, you're doing the kind of same shit that I'm doing, or like you're just you're trying to fight for liberty, equality, or whatever your cause is, and whatever your beef is against the cops and the government, you know, take care of yourself. It's very, you need to take some self-care. It's very stressful, and you know, it's we're basically we're doing a job that's very hard and thankless at this moment. People think we're psychos and radicals and all this shit, and just like vagabonds, but like we're literally suffering shit that like soldiers that go to war suffer, like literal fucking PTSD cases. Like, you know, we're getting hit by cars, we're getting threatened with knives, we're fucking, you know, we're getting arrested and detained and tortured by the police. Like, all this shit is happening to us, and because we are under an occupational force, which is our local police departments, and of course federal law enforcement too. So yeah, stay strong, and keep going, guys. When they're fucking grabbing you off the street and trying to pin some shit on you, you know you're going the right way. It means you're pissing them off.
Yeah, it does. If you find that you're going through hell, keep fucking going and push. Fucking push. I'm super proud of basically fucking everyone out there who is fighting back, who is pushing.
By the way, I'm dropping a link in the chat. Somebody asked where you get merchandise. Go to that link tree. Wait, hang on, that isn't the right link.
Or are you using Linktree too?
Yeah, because there's too many fucking.
Yeah, Linktree is.
Sorry, that's the wrong.
You know, you want to have too many links. Try CoinTree when you have too many crypto addresses.
We have a CoinTree and a Linktree, and they both link to each other.
If you go to merch from Liberty, I have a bunch of things of Boogaloo stuff. There's a why am I,
Yes, it is almost a country song.
Rhett-E Boogie. He has a page that's all about Unity stuff. That's where you can get the awesome T-shirt that Sasha made of it's a possum and it says eat trash, live fast, eat trash, scream at fash.
I need to get that. Also, I mean, I don't know. We have a little bit of our own gear that is kind of Boog oriented too. If you guys are interested, you can go to our link tree, our coin tree, and get the link, or you can just go to the Teespring store and check ours out too. It is wherever it is. It's all spread out in different places.
That's why I had to make a link tree because there's so many people are like, where do I get that patch? Where do I get that
exactly.
patch? Where do I get that?
Yeah,
so I'm like,
exactly.
Fuck this. I made a link tree.
Hell yeah, you gotta. I gotta get a hold of that link tree for my further reference to hand out.
All right,
That's fucking awesome.
I'm gonna bounce out though.
Thanks for being here, Magnus. We love having you.
We have a celebrity in the house.
I mean, I'm pretty much gonna be here every Monday, so just consider me a fucking co-host at this point. But
fuck yes.
But I want
Welcome to
MLtP.
MLtP.
this Thursday on the UVA podcast, that it's going to be exactly right before we leave to go to Louisville. So it would be cool to kind of just have like a panel of like rotating people and do like a big show and just kind of talk about everything. So I'll let you guys know. But much love. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate it. I'll see you next month. Well, actually, I'll see you probably Thursday, and then I'll be live on the ground from Louisville.
Please be careful out there, y'all.
I'm gonna be streaming it. So
yeah, stay frosty, man.
Stay frosty. I love it.
Bye.
So, guys, whoops. Let me fix this.
Whoa.
Right. I'm like, whoa. Thank you guys.
What kind of fucking merge? We like.
I don't know what just happened. We became one. We became one for a second there.
No, we were in deep fake, Creep. We were like, imagine a deep fake with Mike, me, and Creep all together.
Wow, that is a close up for I3 there. Whoa. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming. We really fucking appreciate you guys being here. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, if you have more to add to the subjects we were talking about, get it down there in the comments. Make sure that you like and share. Hit us up on our social media. Come join us in the Discord or the Matrix, preferably the Matrix. But if you don't know how to Matrix, you can get in the Discord and we'll help you. Join our conversation, join our community. If you guys want to help us out, you can volunteer and we will find something for you to, if you can't think of anything to do and you just want to help. You don't have time for that. You can toss us some money. You can join our Subscribe Star. Thank you guys who have joined our Subscribe Star. You guys help us keep the lights on. And after that, we put everything into the LiberTEA Fund. And you guys can, and we use that to help people basically. Right now we have a project going on where we are attempting to put together enough funds to be able to not only go and relocate a member of MLtP that is in a really bad spot. We did a video about that Sunday night if you guys are curious about what's going on there and what we're planning on doing. But to give you the rundown, the basic is not only are we going to go relocate somebody who is not in a good place, but we're also going to do boat steading and free living and nomad life and a nomad life documentary. While we're doing it, we're going to be going live and showing you guys what's going on, and we're going to show you guys how to do the things we do. And when we make mistakes, we're going to document that and share that with you guys, our learning experiences. And there might be monkeys, I have no idea. But if you guys want to help us do that faster, like we're planning on paying for it out of our own pockets. We're planning on doing that. However, if you guys want to help us to get out there and get him out of there faster, and or just to have a better preparation while we're doing the documentary and everything like that, please help us out. We're still going to be trying to help out the community as much as we can too, but honestly, we really want to try and get our fellow out of that place. So we deeply appreciate all the help you guys can give us. We deeply appreciate you guys being here. We just deeply appreciate you guys, and don't change. Stay safe, stay free, Tomorrow night we're gonna have Josie on, and if you don't know who that is, you definitely need to show up because it's gonna be great. I'm really enjoying the one-on-one interviews and the Faces of Liberty and stuff like that. So I guess until then, be safe, be free, don't give up your fucking freedom for your safety. As I say over and over again, that's fucking bullshit. Don't do it. Fuck the government, all this other shit. This episode of Spilling the LiberTEA is fucking adjourned, you guys.